Well, like, I don't even know if anybody's watching, to be honest, but it's just as you can see on my screen, I've got about 50 odd tabs. Started off with 4. The intention was to make 2 simple videos. Kind of got sidetracked, and the next thing I know, I've got a multitude of tabs open. So I might as well just take advantage of the fact that my microphone seems to be working for the time being. I don't really know how. I didn't do anything, but it worked fine for the 2 videos that I recorded yesterday. And I'm still going to get a new microphone, but for some reason, I might as well take advantage of the fact that it's working for now. So initially I was going to make a video on anti-racism, and I was just going to refer to the SNP's Council Manifesto that they've unveiled. And then I started reading through the rest of it, and I had a wee Spurgert moment, I guess you'd say, and I was recording at the time, and then I got about 20 minutes in, and then I lost my train of thought, and then so by that point I had about 40 tabs open. So I might as well just kind of get some of the stuff done that I've been meaning to do, because I might be a bit of a dickhead, and obviously the sustainability stuff. I think I'm just fucking sick of listening to the way that the SNP yammer on in their manifesto here, which, by the way, I don't know what it is with their manifestos, but it's the same on their website as well. It's just images of Sturgeon's face, as if it's like a magazine dedicated to her, like a fan club. She's the face of the party, admittedly, but it's not her. Like, it's a fucking political party. But anyway, Neil Cairns, seen you a few times in the comments before. I'm not very comfortable doing this stream because I don't know if my mic's going to fuck up again. But I just taking advantage of the fact that it's working for the time being, and get rid of these tabs because it's doing nothing. It's fucking soul destroying. I'm telling you, some of the stuff I've watched today and read today, but I needs must do. So 9 people watching. That's fucking sound. Yeah. Right. Wait to hear that. But so I'm not going to read all of this shit because it's just exactly the same as the other manifesto that I went through with Scott Sarmer. But this is what I'm talking about with the photos, just before I go anything. What the fuck is this shit? Every single time. There's a belter of one. I mean, her fucking head, this hairdo that she's got now. I mean, don't worry, this is some top fucking hair on her, man. It's just, oh, I mean, I eat normal hair. Oh, fucking hell. But it's more the COVID bit. I got really irritated, and I think, I need to, let off some steam, I think. And my laptop's now deciding to be a bell end in terms of being slow. So bear with me. There she is. There, she still plasters the old photos of her on the side of the bus, or in every manifesto and publication that comes out. She doesn't look like that anymore. I mean, that's not the hair she's rocking now, man. Oh, fuck. But as well as I will actually touch upon this, because I don't think her little midwits that follow her every move and hang off her every word even realise that they always like to pass the buck. They do this with the referendum promises every election. Oh, vote for us in the election and we'll get independence. Then they don't get the referendum and they blame Westminster for it. But they're doing the same thing in regards to saying that if you vote for them in the upcoming council elections, to make your voice heard, and we will demand this and that of the Tories, right? So instead of making actual promises that they themselves can implement when they get back into power, they're putting the responsibility, the onus on the Tories. So if the Tories don't deliver, it looks like the Tories are at fault. No, you're at fault for making promises that you couldn't fulfil, but it's the way the SNP operate. But where is it? It's just this COVID bit. Not fucking Barcelona. I mean, that here. I mean, that. What is that? I can't. What's that meant to be? Is that a boy? So she's determined to look like a boy. But Hey, come on. There's too many tabs open. That's what's going on here. But the worst part about it was before I went live, it was working absolutely fine, and now it's deciding to slow down. You know, it has to happen when I'm live, so that'll be a length, especially when I'm on my own as well. I'm normally on stream with someone, but hey ho. Fuck's sake, man. Sorry about this, guys. If anybody's COVID. Here we go. All right. COVID recovery. Okay. So this is this bit here. Just I'm so sick of them dropping the word sustainable in there, and you're just supposed to assume it's coincidental. I mean, how many times do they need to say it before it stops becoming coincidental? You know, they're deliberately referring to sustainable every opportunity they get because that's fundamentally what this fucking is. It's sustainable development goals. It's always been that, which I'll come to in a second. But so they say here in their little pledge regarding the COVID recovery, right? That fuck's sake, man. That the the priority of S&P councils for the next 5 years is to secure a fair, green, and resilient recovery from the COOF. That means a people-centered recovery of public services, right? Rebuilding local economies with high-quality jobs, supporting communities using local knowledge and assets, and healthier, better connected places, cleaner air and warmer homes at the heart of environmentally sustainable recovery. That was it for me. I just fucking spurred out at that point because I'm sick of hearing it. I am sick of fucking hearing them referring to sustainable all the time. You know, where is the video that I want to play first of all? I mean, I'm just going to go. It's a wee trip down memory lane for people in case they're not aware of the decade of action just before this pandemic started, right? Which video was that? Oh yeah, right. Listen to this. It's very, very, very convenient timing. So this was the 21st of January, 2020. Obviously, the COOF started round about what March, April time. So this was at the very start of the year.
The next 10 years leading up to the year 2030 are going to be critical for people and planet. We call it the decade of action to implement the Sustainable Development Goals. It is a challenge perhaps with no parallel in human history, both in terms of the scale and ambition, but also in the way that it is bringing people together across the planet, but also in the way that we try and address the challenges of our time. There is no time to be lost, and in many respects, the urgency and the imperative to act have never been clearer. If you watch the evening news today across the world, you can see that whether it is inequality and poverty, whether it is climate change, environmental destruction, or the challenges that are ahead in terms of the future of automation, of pandemics, of cybercrime, we need to change the way we run our world. And this is where we want to invite you to be part of this. We want to make you all be part of an effort to change the course of the future. It's unprecedented, as I said, in terms of ambition, but it is also a fantastic opportunity. And I invite you all to be part of this human journey that we are undertaking and to prove to ourselves and the next generations that these next 10 years really made a difference. We are with you, and in UNDP, we are committed to both supporting, to accompanying, and to pioneering new ways of addressing the challenges that face us. But we need to do it with you, and we certainly can't do it without you.
The Sustainable Development Goals are the world's action plan for a fair globalization and a better future for all. We have 10 years to bring that vision to life, and we can only get there together. That is why we have launched a decade of action to deliver the goals, to overcome poverty and inequality, to combat the climate crisis and advance gender equality, to build peaceful, just and inclusive societies free of discrimination and hate in harmony with nature. Join us, step up, seize the moment, and let us work together to meet the goals, move our world forward, and leave no one behind. From here at United Nations, I join you in welcoming the new year. We enter 2020 with uncertainty and insecurity all around. Persistent inequality and rising hatred, a warring world and a warming planet. Climate change is not only a long-term problem, but a clear and present danger, and we cannot afford to be the generation that fiddled while the planet burned. But there is also hope. This year, my New Year's message is to the greatest source of that hope, the world's young people. From climate action to gender equality to social justice and human rights, your generation is on the front lines and in the headlines. I'm inspired by your passion and determination. You are rightly demanding a role in shaping the future, and I am with you. The United Nations stands with you and belongs to you. 2020 marks the 75th anniversary of the United Nations. We are launching a decade of action for the Sustainable Development Goals, our blueprint for a fair globalization. This year, the world needs young people to keep speaking out, keep thinking big, keep pushing boundaries, and keep up the pressure. I wish you peace and happiness in 2020. Thank you. I'm issuing a global call for a decade of action to deliver the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. We have the best solution in the Agenda 2030, our blueprint for a fair globalization. We must step up our efforts, and we must do it now.
crisis has impacted literally on every aspect of life, the economy and society, and we're going to have to methodically and systematically and carefully work our way through how we fix the impacts where it's done damage and where we change how we do things in the future. So I don't have all of the answers to that right now, and I think Parliament would rightly be a bit miffed if I stood up here and tried to give you all of the answers to that right now. But just as we did at the outset of this crisis to put in place the protection against eviction, as we move into a different phase, we will have to consider what protections are appropriate for a longer term period and what bigger changes we want to see. Actually, everybody in this chamber has a part to play in that, as have the entirety of the Scottish population. I would never ever have wished the circumstances in which we're having these discussions, but it is undoubtedly the case that it gives us an opportunity to change things for the better.
Keep up the pressure.
Important in the short term, but it is also vital to help lay the groundwork for a sustainable economic recovery.
Together we're tackling COVID-19, but now it's time to work together on recovery. For our part, the SNP will work tirelessly to protect jobs, to support businesses and to invest in the industries of the future. We've already started by investing £230 million in a return to work package to invest in jobs across the country, as well as supporting industries that have been hard hit, like the oil and gas, to transition to green energy. We can all help Scotland recover from the impacts of COVID-19. So let's get on with building a more resilient, sustainable country that's fairer for everyone.
And I want to, again today, give an assurance that the Scottish Government is determined to do everything we can to support that process of rebuilding and recovery. We will continue to do everything possible to protect your livelihoods. That's important in the short term, but it is also vital to help lay the groundwork for a sustainable economic recovery.
In the longer term or where we go, there is no question that poverty is the biggest single driver of ill health. And while Scotland has the lowest average poverty levels of the four nations, what you see right across the UK over the last decade, particularly since 2012, is rising child poverty. And that's because of welfare cuts, the 2-child limit, the benefit cap, the benefit freeze. All of these things have hit families. Now, where I do agree with Michelle is that you need a joined up health and well-being in all policies. You have to look across everything. But the Scottish Government has been trying to do that. They were the founder of the Wellbeing Economy Global Governments Group with New Zealand and Iceland. But I think we've had our economy and our society brought to an absolute standstill with COVID. And I don't think we should be building back to business as usual. I think we need to be building forward. We should be looking at the economy we need to have in 10 years. And that needs to be fairer, it needs to be greener, and it needs to be aimed at the physical, mental and environmental well-being of all of our citizens.
Well, tell us what that would be.
I think what we need to do is look at a universal basic income. That's an idea it's never been so much discussed as it has during this pandemic. I mean, one thing we want to do is make sure that our new normal is better than the normal that has seen families impoverished, people living very precariously in hand-to
Oh shit. Are we back to this? Hello? I don't know if you can hear me. Is it working now? Can you hear me? Oh, fucking hell, man. I didn't even realise my mic wasn't working, so spot on for telling me. Oh, I mean, was it not working for a while? Don't tell me I was doing that again where I was just rambling away for fucking ages for that, man. Ah, fuck. Jesus Christ, man. Did you see what I was on about there about the Good Food Nation bill? What? The sound again, what? They're doing it again? What the fuck? What? Wait, is it done it again? Fucking hell. Everybody's leaving. I got 5 watching now. For fuck's sake, man. I thought my mic was alright too, eh? Well, fuck's sake, man. What can you do? What can you do, man? But, aye, where was that going? 5. Aye, happy days, man. But, aye. Just in case anybody didn't hear what I was saying there, I mean, I don't know how far I got, but I find that very convenient that this bill, or this goal, I should say, specifically talks about food insecurity, and we're hearing to no end about food scarcities, food shortages, etc. So if they just implement this goal, and that will somehow achieve food security, you have a right to food. But then when there's a shortage of food around the world, what's going to happen then? Well, then that means that you're going to have to eat. You're going to have to obviously share the food out under the guise of food equity, nationwide or across the world. But on top of that, they'll have to make up the shortfall with GMO foods. And that's exactly what's fucking happening with your big Bill Gates, etc. That's what's coming. Fuck's sake, man. I don't know what to do there. I'm actually I'm options now in regards to this mic. Right, that's what I said, Bill Gates. I was on about sustainable, GMO foods, essentially. That's what's coming. In fact, I was even reading the website earlier on, but they tried to frame it in a nice way. I was like, what the fuck? They're on about they're developing some rice or something that sort of like climate defiant or some shit. Well, you can fuck off your climate defiant rice. I don't want that. Fucking give it to the noodle eaters, eh? I don't want that shit. Fucking hell. Fucking Jesus. But aye, anyway, I think that's everything sustainability out of the way, which is fine and dandy. Curriculum and excellence, don't need that. Don't need that, so I can get that the fuck. Alright, I'll play this, but now it's so annoying because I can't look at both, and I need to know if my mic's working. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Jesus. Whatever. Well, where did he go? All right.
And my first question is about how we can best balance the cost of living crisis. How can we best deal with the cost of living crisis in the short to medium term without compromising strategic emission reduction targets? In other words, to what extent will the energy price crisis undermine or accelerate the transition to net zero? And perhaps I could start, Keith, perhaps I could address that question first to you, and then to Ross, and then to Dan. So Keith, over to you, please.
Okay, thank you, convener. So I think, is that better? Yeah, so fine. Yeah, I think I would look at the two issues separately. They should be kept separate, and they can be kept separate. So I think the targets to get to net zero are incredibly important, and what's going on in the gas market should not be seen as a diversion away from those targets. Ultimately, the move to net zero, or whether you describe it as a move to energy security, in the medium to long term actually helps manage the gas crisis. It helps take us away from the use of gas, helps take away the predominance of gas in terms of its feed through into the price, obviously in the gas market, but also its impact on the electricity price as well. So everything we keep doing as a country to move towards net zero helps move us away from that reliance on fossil fuels.
How convenient!
And helps to manage the price and bring the price of energy down long term, as well as reducing carbon emissions and providing greater security. In terms of the short term and the issues around the short term and the impact on consumers of the current gas crisis, that needs much more direct intervention and much more direct action, because there is a big issue now that we see coming through the system with the move and the price cap from 1,277 to 1971. And then also what we're seeing is the continued price of gas in the market, sending all of the indications that in October there will be a further price rise. And that's the one that gives me real concern when I look at it from a
yeah, but there's the other guy, I need to get him on too. Come on.
A week ago, we opened up a new 8,000.
There's a guy, all these so-called experts, and they always come away with very convenient cliches. And I just think
we are already seeing my proposal.
Come on, spit it out, man.
Back to where it was we're talking about.
Come on, man.
But as I say, I think the really, really important thing is that should not be seen in any way, shape or form as a reason not to push ahead with net zero and not to push ahead with energy security, because that will ultimately help all of us in the medium to long term. Wind is the cheapest form of generation on the system. The more we invest in the future of wind, whether it's onshore or offshore, the more we invest in solar as a country, the more we will bring the cost of energy down, and the more we will make the energy source and security better and stronger as well.
Fucking wind and solar, the two shitest.
It's good to hear your view that energy security and decarbonisation.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it's going to be how.
It's just the last thing this guy says, and then I can move on.
The oil and gas sector is committed to a net zero future through the North Sea transition deal, and we are committed to playing our part in the transition, a fair and managed transition. And we think we'll have a really important part to play in making it a reality. I think coming back to your question, I think it's really important that we take this as an opportunity, though, to accelerate the transition to net zero.
Accelerate, like the decade of action.
If you think about what's causing the issues at the moment, it's our exposure to international commodity markets. And energy is the heart of everything we do within our economy. So that exposure and the exposure to the trends like we're seeing in the energy markets fuels inflation, and that's creating a really horribly difficult situation for so many people across the country. When I was listening to the end of the last session there, I think that was very clear and very evident. I think when we're looking forward,
man, fuck's sake.
Real right comment on support levers.
But you know what, I don't even care. I don't care. He just essentially says all the sort of buzzwords that they always say. I keep wanting to go back to this now just to ensure that my mic's working. I don't know what to fucking do about that. I really don't. Fuck. That's why I need to have somebody in here at all times. Fucking can't do a studio alone until I get a new mic, really. Whatever. Right. I need to start getting rid of some of these tabs that I'm not using as well. Can I make the laptop run a bit quicker? But yeah, I think that's everything in the sustainability front covered, which is a plus. I was getting fucking sick of it. I mean, it is getting on my nerves. So it's a cost of living crisis for now, and then it'll be something else, It's always something. And the promise of the world in terms of, all these promises regarding recovery, which actually leads me. I mean, I'm sorry, though, I did the references at the start of the stream, but what the fuck are all these photos of her with his daft haircut? Like, what the fuck? I mean, is it the SNP or is it a vote for Sturgeon? And I swear to God, it's a race between her head extending at the back and her lip deteriorating. I don't know which one will happen before 2031, but one of them will. I mean, I don't know if it's just the hairstyle or not, but she's starting to look like that fucking alien from American Dad a bit, eh? Or is he no more? Oh, fuck. Anyway. Right, sound. Jesus Christ, every 2 seconds I'm going to have to click back on this tab. I heard this earlier on because I seen this quoted somewhere that are like serious, like leadership to be taken serious or something worse. That it's like, is she being serious? Like, but she's unironically.
The SNP will always stand up for Scotland. It is what we do. It is who we are. Today we do live in the most serious of times. And in these serious times, people, families and communities across our country need and they expect serious leadership, and that is what the SNP offers. In the months and the years ahead, let us, all of us, come together in a national pandemic-level effort to steer Scotland through this cost of living crisis.
Oh, a pandemic-level effort, you know, so harkening back to the shit show that you've just put us through for the last 2 years as to help us through the next series of shit shows you intend to put us through. They refer to crisis after crisis after crisis. And we're expected to believe this is all just happening by chance, you know. We just had a big bad pandemic and now we're slap bang in the middle of another crisis. You know, what are the odds? What are the chances? Oh, Mama Sturgeon, please fucking save us with your sustainable policies. Fucking do one. Fucking evil little cow that she has, eh?
And build a better future. SNP councillors, in partnership with our government at Holyrood, will strain every sinew to help families and communities through to that better future. And we will demand that the Tory government at Westminster takes responsibility and action on the crisis that it has done so much to create and so little to address. This is the clear choice facing.
Despite the fact it's happening all across Europe, you know, you just blame the Tories. And I'm no Tory, by the way, for anybody watching that doesn't know me very well. I fucking can't stand the Tories either, but it's just that's how they operate. She seems to pretend that this isn't happening anywhere else.
People of Scotland on May 5th. It is a choice between SNP action, compassion and leadership or Tory inaction, self-interest, complacency and sleaze. To people across Scotland, please do not sit this election out. Do not let others decide your future for you. Let's tell the Tories exactly what we think of their antics and their inaction. And most importantly of all, let us vote with hope and optimism for a better future.
Oh, we wouldn't need to vote for hope, and optimism and pray for better futures, etc. if you people would stop implementing these fucking policies and pretending that you are mitigating crisis after crisis. You know, it's unbelievable how they can stand at the podiums and LARP. I mean, you have to be a pretty damn good liar or a good actor at the very least to come across as somewhat sincere, you know, and pretend that everything that's happening around us is all legitimate, totally not manufactured in any shape or form. The reality matters and all this shit. It's just for show. Fuck hard, man. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else on that. I can get to that too. But I just find serious leadership. Are they serious? Why the fuck have you? I mean, you can't say. I'll be here all night talking about why I can't take them seriously. But yeah, yes, absolutely. The Asian population, we've got it. Well, it's happening all across the West, really. That's excuse anyway. But they're not doing anything exactly to reverse the trends. They don't even talk about the decline in birth rates at all. They just keep referring to immigration as the solution. But one solution that I would say, though, Nova Scotia is actually the prime example of this. That's got our diaspora, as does America and whatnot. I'd be calling out to the diaspora and trying to incentivize them home because that's our people, as opposed to important fucking Africans. But that's what I would do. I would attempt that. I'm not saying that they would want to come back to Scotland. I mean, especially under the SNP's tenureship, but it's something. It's an idea. You know, that's what I would do. I would even try to attract the Scots that live in England to come back, or across the UK, across Europe, etc. That's something that could be done. Something they won't do, though. I don't know why. Well, I do know, actually. Stupid question. I laughed my head off at you today. Well, it better not be over my mic conundrums because I thought I'd sort of fixed it and it's happening again. Hence, well, it's fucking annoying. You can get off my screen. I know. I don't think I need these dickheads over, you know. Oh, planet over profit. Yeah. Fucking Jesus Christ. But honestly, it's just all the constant referrals to sustainable. And you respect it's like that's why I got so angry earlier on the day. It's like, you're fucking insulting my intelligence at this point now. You know, this shit. Like, you cannot honestly expect people to continue to believe that that's just convenient. Like, it's just, they just slot it in there because it's a nice word to say. Fuck off, like. I mean, any word in English language that they can include in every second sentence, it just so happens to be the exact same word that is the first word of the agenda that they signed up to in 2015. Sustainable development. Come on, fuck, like. But anyway, just so obvious as far as I'm concerned. But aye, oh yeah, this shit show. So anyway, the decade of action. This is what I was saying earlier, to accelerate efforts to deliver on the ambitious, universal, and inclusive 2030 agenda. You know, so I can finally close that. I know. And close this shit. Yeah. Anti-racism now. Oh, I mean, I've got a fucking hilarious video of them all being lectured by, you know, the climate engrossed children. But if I'm going to have to keep watching to see if my mic's disconnected, that's a bit shite too. But this was the anti-racist website that I wanted to make a video on, because this is a website that was actually promoted by the government last year when they first unveiled anti-racist resources. I mean, look at this. This is what pisses me off about anti-racism, because for the most part, people by and large, they don't know that it's even a thing in terms of implementation. But if they do know that it exists, I don't think for the most part spend any time reading any of the shit that's included within these websites. I mean, it's fucking horrible. It's fucking horrible. Right, I'm fine. I'll move this thing. Wait a second. Oh, where'd they go? A curriculum which reflects diversity, right? And then it says that they want a curriculum which represents everyone, it involves normalizing diversity. So the idea of an anti-racist education is to first and foremost normalize diversity. So they wanted to implement this shit in Scotland to predominantly white Scottish children in order to normalize diversity. Why? All because in 5-10 years' time, the classrooms that they once sat in, the little brothers now sat amongst a bunch of Africans. It'll be fine because it'll be normalized by then, you see. It's fucking insidious, malevolent bullshit that nobody voted for. When she's standing there, the SNP for Scotland, vote for me. Oh, look what she's doing at the back, out of the way, you know? Fucking stand there with that daft haircut, thin, declining lip, talking about independence and a cost of living crisis and blaming and bashing the Tories. I don't see the Tories implementing this. As far as I'm aware, Boris Johnson more or less ruled it illegal. Critical race theory in the UK, or in England anyway. Whereas this thin lip baboon, she gives it the green light for my equality. Fucking boot. It's fucking horrible. Oh, honest to God. Where did it go? I mean, every 2 seconds I feel like I have to go and check that. Like, my mic's disconnected. But this website's, I think what makes it the worst part about this website, as I say, is it's promoted by the government. Like, this isn't just some whack jobs on the internet that call themselves anti-racist. This is promoted by the fucking government. Oh, fucking hell. But I'll zoom in a bit. So the normalizing, where are we? Normalizing diversity within the curriculum so that learners routinely see language, content, and imagery that reflects the diversity of culture, identities, and experiences, including their own. This normalizing is more powerful than one-off lessons that explore diversity or celebrate difference. The latter can have the unintended consequence of othering those who are not from the ethnic group, which is the majority. That stands to reason that might very well be the case when you're a minority living in Scotland. What the fuck else would you expect? But this is the new normal. This is about global citizenship, you know, where everybody is entitled to have their identity celebrated. In fact, it's one of the United Nations Children's Rights Charter rights for children, where they have to have their identity celebrated. Hence why this shit's happening. It's a fucking red herring. You know, they claim it's because the little babes in the classroom, they might feel othered, but then stands to reason they're supposed to be integrating, but they've been encouraged to do the opposite now because they're told, the parents are told, they are told, the narrative from the education leaders are all told is that, oh no, they don't need to integrate anymore. No, they need to be themselves. They need to be them fucking selves, and you need to make more of an effort to include them and talk about their heritage, etc. So what we're doing here in the context of Scotland is we are again diluting what makes you Scottish. We're eradicating it, because if anybody can come from anywhere and we're just going to celebrate everybody's culture, etc., etc., the Scottish culture just gets mixed in with that bag and eventually dissipates. For global citizenship, though, eh? Fucking horrible bullshit, man. And I mean, do you know what Exiled Viking? I mean, I might be asking a lot here. I don't know if Scott's Armour's still in the chat, but it's because my mic keeps disconnecting, and instead of me having to check the tab every 2 seconds, it'd be just handy dandy if there was someone in my stream. So if my mic disconnects, they can tell me. So if you're free, like, that would be handy, yeah. But if you're not, it's fine. But and Scott's Armour, if you're still in the chat, you can fire on as well or whatever. Like, it's just because this is pissing me off. I come back and check every 2 seconds. What have we got? Yeah. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Yeah. There you go. I'll give you that. I would post it in the chat, but I don't know who's lurking there. What's this one? Sorry, I don't know. Glad I'm not a kid these days. Well, shit. No, it's horrible. It's fucking horrible. It really is. I mean, my wee boy. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Like, by the time he's at the age where this shit will be. I mean, where he lives as well, it's a city that's already pretty diverse. So I don't know what the future holds for him. Like, but I better stop sharing my screen for 2 seconds. So. Fuck off, man. Fuck's sake. Oh, I'm fucking so thirsty, and all I've got is like fucking Gatorade that's been sat there for like 3 days. Man, it's fucking. Where is? Sorry, for anybody who's wondering what I'm doing, I'm just going on Telegram. Oh. Fuck you coming up on here, eh? Shit, I can't find you on there, eh? What the fuck's going on? Are you still called? Are you called on there again? Are you still called Exiled Viking? I mean, I think people know that, you know, that immigration and whatnot's occurring, but I don't think enough people, or a lot of people anyway, know anything about anti-racism, etc. It's I don't know. To be fair, I mean, even in, you know, our circles, like some of the stuff that I've talked about in regards to like global citizenship and whatnot, I've never heard anybody else talking about that. And that's not me tooting my own horn. Like, quite a lot of the stuff I was finding out myself in real time while I was making videos on it. I was none the fucking wise about half of this shit. I've heard of it, but I didn't know a lot about it, you know? And it's fucking horrible. So if we don't even know about it, I wouldn't expect your average Joe to know about it, you know? But all I can do is really make YouTube videos and whatnot on it. There's not really much else I can do. Well, yeah, I could take to the streets and stuff, but it's the fucking point, really. If I'm doing up myself and dox myself and fucking reason, but try under EOS. Huh? Oh yeah. I got you. Fucking hell, man. Right, there we go. Happy days. Oh, sorry, I didn't even realise you'd DM me before. But sorry about that. On the parks, like, just don't see messages very often. But yeah, anyway, now I can finally get back to what I was doing. What Stephen Ford? Yeah, and that's don't know, and the unionists do know. But that's the thing. I mean, I don't even see unionists really talking about it. Like say unionist politicians down south, I maybe like critical race theory and whatnot, but up here they don't. Unionists up here are wet wipes, eh? Like that's the fundamental issue that I have. Well, I'm on the unionist side now. If the argument's about independence, EU membership, sorry, versus UK membership, fuck that. I'm all about the UK. Like, but the real issue fundamentally is the unionist politicians, the frontrunners, the spokesmen, and etc. They're fucking wet wipes. Like, I mean, Nicola Thinlips is just a shit poster. So she just lies for a fucking living, but she still runs circles around the me. And it's embarrassing to watch. But I've DM'd you. I think. Fucking tell me I did, and I didn't. I did. I DM'd you. Like, right. Where was I? This website, like, as well. And there's the reference again, though. You know, 2030 educational lifelong learning for 2030, of course. But Jesus Christ. Hey, have you got the DM, mate? So I can fucking. Says probably the longest I've gone without I'm like monging out for some reason. So I don't know what's going on. Anyway. Shit. So where am I? Yeah, they are. Look at this shit, man. Fuck this. Like, wow. Normalizing diversity within the curriculum as opposed to normalizing the white majority ethnic group gives every learner the important message of being valued and belonging. So in Scotland, we should not be, and in fact, we should be opposed to quote unquote normalizing our majority as is a majority. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, you know, I look at the image that's presented alongside it. I know it's obviously just a stock photo, but this is the age range we're talking about here. Little children. And the idea of the Scottish being a majority in their own fucking country is somehow something that should be opposed in order to like make little Banes feel valued. Fucking unreal. It's like the closest thing I can think of to child abuse without, you know, bordering on it. Fucking bordering on it, like when you're systematically doing everything in your power to eviscerate any fucking semblance of identity for Scottish children in order to make other children feel fucking at home here. You're eradicating who they are. That's fucking child abuse, man. So, you know, they're grooming the children for more climate change, and then they've got this as well. So, fucking disgusts me. Fucking horrible, man. Exactly. I mean, even publications, the publications and stuff, they're going about fucking, what is it they say that, you know, the old narrative that whites went around the world and they created race. They created race. You know, it's a social construct. You know, baseless claims, etc. But then they go on about like, well, we can be prejudiced, but we can't be racist because, you know, like we were racialized and we don't hold any power. You know, it's like, oh, fuck off. Like, so they managed to that. So they've got essentially, even if you're from a country like Sweden that never had any involvement in slavery, you're still classified as white, and by default, you are you're fucking inherently racist because your identity in and of itself is built on a racist concept, according to these people. It's just a joke. Oh, sorry, I didn't even see you were there. How's it going? I think you're in.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Aye.
Great. Well, thank you for the invite.
You know, like I mean, I just wanted to batter out some of the stuff that I was I've been holding back on because my mic's been playing up. But today and yesterday, it seemed to be a bit better, but when I made those 2 videos yesterday and that, it was fine. Started the stream up, everything was fine, but then my phone kept pinging and apparently it started monging out again, so my mic's going to be tongue yet again.
Okay, well, I can hear you perfectly well. And those 2 videos you mentioned, yeah, they were fine on my side. No audio issues.
It's more the I don't know if you were in the stream earlier on though. It looks as if I've muted, but that's because my mic's disconnected, and then I have to go back onto the actual this page here that I'm on the now, and then I have to unmute and all this shit. I did an hour-long video at the weekend and only recorded 8 minutes. I didn't even know until the end. But so I've got there's a climate change thing that I found from last year, but it's like, oh my fucking god! I'm not obviously playing all of it, but the nonsense they say. And then I found there were some doozies that I found the day, like, so I've got all my anti-racist stuff. But where is it? I think it's a YouTube video. St. Andrew's Day anti-racism rally, right? I was listening a wee bit. I was like, these fucking people, man. And there's always the proverbial bullshit feminist on the, Well,
there always is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say to you there, I've missed almost 1 hour of your stream because I just came home after seeing a friend. But I'll certainly catch up with it later on. But for now, I will.
Well, to be fair, you didn't really miss much because it was just me losing my head about sustainability, to be honest. Because their manifesto SAP like, oh, sustainable recovery. Is like, I'm fucking sick of this. Like
I never consider it blowing your head or nonsense. To me, it's always entertaining because you guys always have something interesting to say. You and Scott's Armour and No Chance. I always enjoy the streams.
Oh, I mean, like that's very much appreciated. But I'm running out of ways to be sort of presentable on my streams. I really just want to drop like fucking C-bomb every time I see her face nowadays. You start really just taking her and her party, like, but. I these people here, and it was hilarious. Like the first example that the guy brought up, I can't even remember it now because it was hours ago. Like I was like, "Is this? I can get rid of that." He says fascism, but he said it's fucking fascism. So I was like, "Oh, here we go." Yeah, and then it was this example. Was it? Oh god!
Okay.
Oh, these people. Yeah, there you go. Come on.
Start. So, welcome everybody. My name is Satnam Nair. I am a member of the STUC Black Workers Committee. The STUC has had a long history of involvement in organising this march, and I think it's really important that around St Andrew's Day, Scotland's National Day, we send a very powerful and visible message that we do not welcome any racism, any fascism, and refugees are welcome here. And, it's really important, I think, that the trade union movement leads. I'm in the chair, the original chair, co-chair of the STUC Black Workers Committee, Khadija, is unable to be here due to family illness, so we sent her.
I don't know if he's going to say it. I'm not playing it all, but
the theme of today's march.
I thought he said something after fascism, like it was like some really daft example that had nothing to do with fascism or something. But anyway, that's the pinnacle of, or the dregs of society, I guess. But it's fucking remarkable. This is everywhere now, this anti-racism stuff. I mean,
I know, and it's all the same bloody buzzwords and the same scripted lines. There's no originality between them. In fact, whenever I see it, I just turn the volume off when I see all these half-wits talking about racist this, racist that. It's just absolute bullshit.
Yeah. But this is the thing that, like, when I was that website I was just reading a wee bit out of the other way, like it's the absolute heinous stuff that's included in some of these websites. Like only when you look at it from the context of who it's targeted at, little white children. You know, it's fucking disgusting. It's hideous. It truly is revolting. You know, I mean, this website, as I say in particular, it's one of the worst because, as I say, it's actually promoted by the government in Scotland. So that to me, that's
it drives me nuts as well, man. Yeah.
I know.
Today I was down in the city centre, and it's still going around with the wee table stall with support Ukraine, and it's two bull-dyke feminists sitting there gathering money, trying to force gullible people to sign up and make a regular donation. Well, I decided to really annoy one of them. She said, "Excuse me, sir," with her very plummy university accent. She said, "Can I ask you, do you support or what do you think of the war going on in Ukraine?" I said, "Well, it's nothing to do with us and we should stay the hell out of it." And she said, "Oh, no, it involves everybody. If we turn our back on it, there's going to be a genocide there." I said, "Well, it's bad what's going on. Sure, I don't agree with anybody being killed, but you can hardly class it as a genocide." And she said, "Oh, I beg to differ." And I said, "And by the way, I think you need to carry a dictionary because I don't think you know what any of these words mean. Do you even know what genocide is? Or for that matter, do you even know what the Holocaust means?" And she just tried to say, "Okay, if you're not going to sign up, I think maybe we are the wrong people for you then. Have a nice day." I said, "Oh, I think you just don't like the truth. And by the way, I support Russia." Which, for the record, man, I don't. I just said that to really annoy her, and she just went, "Whatever." She just waved her wee hand, whatever. I could tell it was annoying her.
Oh, it would have been like, it's remarkable how, like, when this first all started, how, like the people here, like Sturgeon and whatnot, but not just limited to people like her, but progressive lefties in general, they're totally vehemently opposed to the idea of national borders, nationalism and whatnot. And they're all in favour of a national identity for Ukraine. Yeah, they're all in favour of Ukrainian nationalism. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you've changed your tune.
It's absolute it's hypocrisy of the highest order. They're not interested in us, but they're very happy to every other country to have their own borders and identity.
Yeah. It's remarkable to me, and then it's the total.
Mm-hmm.
Putin's committed war crimes. Putin's commit genocide. And if we don't stop the war in Ukraine, he's going to come for us all. It's like, oh yeah, it's just.
Oh, of course.
I'm not saying Putin's an angel, but far from it. Because I think the whole thing's manufactured. So if that's the case, if that is what's genuinely happening, then he has to be involved in it to some capacity.
Yeah, of course.
It's just very maniacal timing, but.
Yeah, but the thing, the war is, it doesn't actually affect us directly. People are trying to tell us that it does, but actually it doesn't.
No,
but not yet. Not yet, anyway.
They were saying prior to this actually beginning, they were saying that there was going to be a potential cost of living crisis and whatnot, or increase in energy, etc. But it's the way that they're using the sanctions here. They're using the sanctions to fucking partly make Putin think twice, right? But then at the same, Europe's buying like $1 billion euros of energy a week or a day off them. So any detrimental effects that these sanctions could hypothetically be having, they're rectified by all the energy that's been bought off by Europe. So it's fucking pointless. The only people that are being affected by these sanctions are us.
Exactly. DJ, I need to let you know, occasionally your mic is coming and going, and you went silent for about 3 seconds.
Yeah, I'm still wait. Oh wait, am I still sharing my? I don't even know if I'm sharing my screen anymore. But like I'm looking at the bit where I can share the screen and look at the chat and stuff, and like 3 times in a row, my mic's just disconnected. So had I been streaming by myself, I wouldn't even have fucking known it. I don't know what's going on. Like, it's really.
You would have ended up. You would have been talking to yourself like a madman if no one had heard you. That's better. Now I see the screen. There.
Fucking roll, like I have no idea what's going on with it. It's obviously the cable or something. I don't know, but I wanted to play. Well, I want the climate change thing's got to go on at some point because it's just hilarious. There's like some like non-binary child or like teenagers. It's like lecturing all these, because this big scam here is the false empowerment they give the children. All the kids have been taught about climate change in school, and then the government sit there and pretend, they do the usual routine of, what concerns you the most? about your future, and then they go, oh well, my climate change. Like, you know, and then they start reiterating things that they learned in their fucking textbooks, etc. You know, but sitting, I couldn't sit there and take that seriously if I was a politician. But the way that this little prick spoke to them and that, I'd be sitting there like, you can just watch your mouth, pal. You know, like, watch your fucking mouth. Especially, you know, I made you. You know, you're reiterating what I wrote for you, but. Anyway, fuck it. Hey, right, tabs. I need to get back into order. So this website, as I said, this is the one. But is there anything else here? Oh yeah, this is obviously I covered that before, but that's included on the website. You know, this program.
Yeah.
It's doing my nothing like, but.
Can you hear me again? Can you hear me?
Shit,
DJ, can you hear me?
Aye.
All right, I've just put on my headphones and I just wasn't sure if my mic was muted.
Nah, it's any fuck ups will be on my end there with this mic. Like, it's I don't know, perfectly fine all day, and now it's gone Pete Dong. But all I want to do is read out that wee fucking paragraph too, and I can't even finish the paragraph. Jesus Christ! Aye, the programme aims to set anti-racism as a baseline professional value, empowering educators to identify and implement anti-racist behaviours and processes in their everyday practice, with the ultimate goal of building the racial literacy programme and to make every educator in Scotland racially literate, effective at dealing with racism, and confident in leading anti-racism. So essentially, that's, you know, it's retraining teachers to make them aware of the anti-racist lingo, or critical race theory lingo and dialect, etc. Introduce them to the concept and hope that they become little activists and see the world the way they see it. That's essentially what that fucking is. It's disgusting, and that's funded by the Scottish government. You know, just for anybody that's not seen it before, like that's it's hidden behind effectively a paywall. But instead of it being a paywall, the only way you can actually access any of the resources that they're currently in the process of creating, you have to be involved in the program itself. You have to be implementing this shit. Yeah. There's currently 80 teachers around Scotland that are doing it, including people that are in nursery settings, and they're promoting this nonsense.
I think with all these people in academia, I think they've been forced into doing it. Either you accept it or you're fired. It's basically a blackmail. That's my take on it.
Because no, you're not wrong, actually.
Who in the right mind would sign up to that garbage anyway?
Well, no, they've gone out of their way to do that. They're all BAMEs, like, essentially. There might be the odd white person there, but they're genuinely like all anti-racist type BAMEs. But when it comes to like promoting immigration and whatnot, they have to do that. It's one of the General Teaching Council of Scotland, essentially one of their laws. They're what are they called? Not principles, but they've got something like these. Well, it's essentially just procedures anyway. They've got these sort of enshrined into sort of law. It is a law, but it's not how it's defined, worded. Sorry, but nonetheless, they've got to normalise diversity, not diversity, immigration, and social justice. So that's great. There's always something in Scotland that makes you want to fucking vomit these days.
Oh yeah, plenty around Glasgow.
Oh, hi! Somebody in the chat said that there about Glasgow. You were in Glasgow last year. Place is a mess. It's still a mess.
Oh,
it's a fucking shit show.
It's not only rubbish in the street, DJ. I regard the garbage as also the people. Some of these left-wing dregs.
Well, they're in part responsible for it.
Yeah.
Considering the parts of the city are so run down, and and these lefties that have, the commies, but have IS dissent and whatnot, and they continuously vote in parties that are responsible for it. It's the same you see the same thing that occurred in America, in these very lefty states, like what's it called? California, not California. That state anyway.
Portland, Oregon. That's a very left state.
Fucking But they can just continue to vote for him because it doesn't necessarily affect them, but like the impoverished and they're stuck with it. You know, nothing gets done for them. But the yuppie lefties, they continue to vote for them because they think this is the best thing.
Oh yeah, of course, because they're also terrified of the mythical far right gaining a foothold. I mean, they don't want another Donald Trump, although Trump was not our man. But I'd say Trump at least put some points that were good in America, where Biden is an absolute embarrassment. In fact, it's so bad. You've seen the footage where he's on stage and he offers his hand to somebody who's not even there, and then he stumbles around before walking off the stage. I felt sorry for him. The first time ever in my time, I felt sorry because the guy is away with it and he doesn't even realize that he's been taken for a fool.
There's no way in hell he was the most voted for president in American history. Like, fuck off. I mean, even before he allegedly won the election, he wasn't right. He was on the way out. But now it's very apparent. So I think it's safe to assume that, I mean, whether or not he'll still be alive in a few years, I mean, he might not necessarily be, but I don't mean he's going to get his clogs popped, which just mean that he might have passed on. But I think there'll be a new president come the next election in America. There has to be. Sure.
He will not do 2 terms. You'll never see it. But the thing is, if you believe Biden won by a landslide, then you'll believe the tooth fairy is real.
Oh, I know. Oh no way in hell at all.
Absolutely.
It's pretty bad. It's mad though how like even staunch progressives in America are all turning on him now. But he's so away with it. I don't even think he realizes.
He doesn't even know. Nah. He probably still thinks he's in the 1970s.
But I see him coming out to Russia at the weekend, John, about his friendly tanks instead of threatening Russia or showing a bit of strength against Russia. He's yammering on about climate friendly tanks and all this shit. Apparently, I
do wonder though how Trump would have handled the Ukraine situation.
Well, it probably wouldn't have happened,
Well, nothing really did happen while Trump was sitting his big ass in the White House chair. And then suddenly he's out of the picture. Suddenly everything starts happening.
It's the same when Barack Obama was in charge of America. Yeah. Russia were up to the shenanigans, And then I think they were up to the shenanigans when Bush was in charge of it. I can't remember, but definitely when Obama was in charge. But then Trump gets in, they stop. And then the minute Trump leaves, they start again.
Exactly, yeah. Well, with Obama, Bush, I think it was kind of not quite, they were not at it quite there because, again, he was a Republican and he has a record for sending American troops to war. So they waited till they got another Democrat in called Obama. And then because they know that these people have not got the spine to tell them to behave.
Yeah.
They were basically scared of Trump. That's it.
Right, well, I mean, it's hard to argue with that, I guess. But I mean, if you look at it from that angle, but I'm still very much in the camp that the entire thing's fucking manufactured. I don't know.
I agree.
I mean, because it does. If it is, think about it. China, Russia, India, etc. They benefit. They wholeheartedly benefit from a weakened West in terms of our economy, economically fractured. That puts them at a major advantage over us going forward.
Exactly. Well, China already is taking over countries in Africa by installing technology, and they know that they're not going to be able to sustain it or pay back the debt. And essentially, China is paving the way for them to roll in and take over Africa, one continent at a time. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, they are definitely heavily involved in Africa. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but as long as they stay over there, I'm gonna fuck you. But
I only care about my own people. For that matter, I only really care about Europeans as a whole. But I say I don't wish anybody harm or ill on anybody, but I say I consider myself an ethno-nationalist, and I like to think it's good to put my own people first before the rest of the world.
Oh, absolutely, because there's even the stuff that I've been going over the day in the stream. I mean, the fact of the matter is that the vast majority of us we've got to a position where they don't care And because they don't care, we have policies and education resources and anti-racist teachers actively encouraging, producing and promoting the concept of going so far as to essentially stop normalising the idea of a white Scotsman or a white majority in Scotland to little children. You know, like if everybody in the country cared the way that they once upon a time would have done generations back, this shit would be fucking happening. You know?
Exactly.
Fucking unbelievable. I mean, anti-race, it's just the last while, I don't know how long, I've been really delving into the child aspect, like the education resources. I can't put my finger on just about when, but the more I've looked into it, it doesn't get any more pleasant. It gets worse the more and more I find out.
I know. I'm the same. If I've started to not even look for it because it's just really riling and boiling my blood, and I'm going to end up saying something online, potentially getting a chap at the door from the police.
I'm surprised I haven't had that yet, to be honest. But I have to do it because the way I look at it, if I don't do it, nobody will do it because nobody else is doing it. So
that's fair. There's not enough people taking the bull by the horns, so I think all of us have to do a little bit to get the message out there.
Yeah, I'm just going to read this out, and so then I can end this tab as well.
Okay.
And they're like, but the goals for the education and the education and race equality framework, right? So this is still the same website. So the goals, some of their key goals, of course, while they're promoting this cancer, is innovative, inclusive, and effective approaches to education, whether through teaching or pupil support, which take account of the individual needs and experiences of people in all ethnic groups being embedded throughout Scotland's education system. Minority ethnic pupils are provided with career guidance that helps to improve transition into employment and tackle occupational segregation in relation to race. Minority ethnic pupils have confidence and are effectively supported by approaches and support in schools to prevent and respond to prejudice-based bullying and racist behaviours. Scotland's educators are confident and empowered to promote equality, foster good relations, and prevent and deal with racism. Scotland's education workforce here we fucking go again. Better reflects the diversity of its communities. Minority ethnic people experience better outcomes. Not opportunities. No. It has to be outcomes. In completing further and higher education and in transitioning to the labour market after completion. And I'm pretty sure this race equality framework for 2016, that's the one thing I'm pretty sure I forgot to do before I start this stream. I'm sure I covered this fucking years ago. I'm sure I did. Or at least in part anyway. So I'm going to, I don't know, it's just very familiar. But, still, just never ends. That's an old publication.
DJ, I'll be back in about. DJ, sorry, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Hang on.
No bother. Sorry, who's still floating about? I'm fucking dying for a drink too, man. Oh, throat is dry as hell too. Race communism, well, one tenet of it, I guess. I mean, they're doing it with everything. Gender as well. Really fucking annoying me. In climate justice, gender justice, racial justice, social justice. It just goes on and on and on and on. And then we got Nicola Sturgeon saying it's climate change is a feminist issue. We got the blacks saying it's a racist, or it's about decolonializing and all this shit. Racial justice, as I say. They don't really give a shit about apparently rectifying the perils of a burning planet. It's more about what comes after the gimme free stuff, because not only are we supposed to be moving towards solving the climate quote unquote crisis, right, the man-made climate crisis. It's what comes after the fact. It's the socially just, equitable world where power and wealth is shared equally around to the world. That's the fucking utopia that they're trying to sell to people. Like, they can fuck off. I'd rather burn a smolder, if I'm honest, because I know what that means. It's just fucking the utopia they're promoting. That's for sure. Like, he's away to. Shit. I hope he comes back because I need somebody in here. I can't really do anything with this dodgy mic. Like, fuck him. While he's away, though, I will double check that. I am sure I did go over this years ago. In that video that I made yesterday or the day before, And then the woman brought up something that I made like 20. I made a video on it 2016. Fuck's sake, she's talking about it now. But okay, hell. Yeah, I've been on YouTube that long. Like, fucking Jesus, I was looking. I can't remember how old I was. I must be about 17, 18 then. Fucking hell. But videos. Sure, I did that. Oh, fuck off. Oh my days. I need water or something. Fuck him. Where is it? Where is it? Fucking thought I did, but maybe I didn't. Oh, there's it there. 2 years ago, there's the Scottish Government's worst one yet. That's the same publication. So I have gone over it years ago. Jesus. Anyway. Shinobi the booby. Is that a USB mic? Aye. That is it. It's like, but the thing is, the 2 ports on the left-hand side of this laptop, it kept doing it, and it was doing it on my computer as well. But it started working perfectly on the right-hand side, but it's just when I started the stream up, it started pissing about again. So I don't know. I mean, no chance said he was going to send me his mic. So I guess I just have to wait for that, or I'll just go and buy my own one. I don't know. It is irritating me because I need somebody in the stream with me now, just to ensure that, like, if it happens again, I can be told straight away. You know, so I can't really do fuck all until your man comes back now. It's a pain in the arse. Shinobi the booby. Obviously that was addressed to you, but I never told you. You can do a podcast on Twitter. I don't know. Has anybody tried to drop some like N-bombs or something yet on Twitter? You get banned. But be interesting. But I was wondering if, like, that means now you'll finally be able to argue the point against the likes of Sturgeon and her little cult-like followers about climate change and whatnot. You know, oh, we need to do this because the planet's burning, and then you just drop some truth bombs, like, you know, because you would get banned for that back in the day. Wonder if you can do it now. Be interesting. That said, maybe that will still be banned because, you know, Elon Musk, he profits off the concept of climate change because it pushes everybody into the idea of wanting to buy an electric car, doesn't it? So, get a cheap audio interface, and you'll have control over the audio. I think well, I'm not that tech savvy in that respect. Like, I mean, yes, I did used to make DJ mixes back in the day, but that's about as far as my my IQ goes on that front. So I'm not entirely sure what the fuck that is, if I'm honest with you. But it's just a case of it just keeps disconnecting, so. And it says it comes up at the top top left hand corner that my mic's disconnected, and then I emailed somebody from StreamYard about it, and they were puzzled by it. So it's got to just be a fault of my mic, surely. Yeah. But are you muted right now? No, you're not muted. Hello.
Hello, I'm back. Yeah,
All
sorry
right.
about that.
No,
someone was at the door. Luckily, it wasn't the boys in blue. It was my neighbour asking if I had a spare plate to borrow. So I gave him one of my old ones, which I don't use.
Fucking spare plate, like, I mean, how many people's got around like with genre plates?
I don't know. Maybe he's lost him, but I think he's a new neighbour because I don't recognise his face, and I usually know who is my neighbours and all the familiar coupons. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he was. And I think he was a Highlander because he sounded like you, DJ. He didn't have a Glasgow accent.
Well, it's very easy to pick out a Highlander, like, because we don't have the Scottish twang that everybody else has got, you know. Well, I've always thought that anyway. I've had so many people in the past from Scotland, may I add, just when I've been in different parts of the country, like, where are you from? I can't figure out your accent. I'm like, fucking, Chester? You can't dare you ask me where I'm from. And then they're like, well, you sound posh. I sound posh. Are you wise? I've had that a few times. Apparently, I sound posh.
Well, I don't know, but I think you sound polite. All Highlanders have a very polite, clear accent.
Started the PC. Sorry, just replying to this. Yeah, it's both. It's doing it on the laptop and the computer, so it's definitely the microphone. No chance seems to think it's my connection, but I'm starting to lose. I'm starting to drain viewers here. I'm on 6 now. Let's go back up to 7. But I don't want to lose track of my sort of itinerary for the evening before I get really sidetracked. But I had a rake of tabs open, like Scottish government stuff, because I found this was just purely by accident. I knew that these groups existed, but this was published just today on the government's website. Gave you a bit of an update as to who they are, who's involved in each of these committees or these groups even. So this is the Education, Leadership and Professional Learning subgroup, right? So the overview for this says that the Education, Leadership and Professional Learning subgroup is one of 4 work streams established by the Learning Directorate working towards race equality and anti-racism in the education system as part of the wider race equality and anti-racism in education programme. The other 3 work streams are the curriculum reform, racist and racism or incidents, and diversity in the teaching profession and education workforce, because there's no smoke without fire, and they just will not shut the fuck up about that. Vision, the group has a vision that Scotland's educators and leaders are confident, committed, and empowered to promote equality, foster good relations, and identify, prevent, and deal with racism as a result of understanding race in a school context. And by deploying skilled and passionate leadership, they can empower and support an anti-racist culture across school communities, right? So then they've got the members here, some of the members, and who pops up straight away right off the bat? My girl, my baby girl, Khadija, the big brain guru Mohammed. Of course, Khadija Mohammed's going to be there. You know, the woman that looks as if, well, I'm not going to say what she looks like, but, you know, the big brain herself. Of course, she's going to be fucking there, giving her 2 cents on the matter. You know, because why not? She's got a lived experience because she's Khadija fucking Mohammed. She knows their stuff. But it gets worse because who's at the bottom? Well, we have Melina, whatever her second name is, who is the woman who created the racial literacy program, which is critical race theory. So you have there's just 2 of examples of people who are promoting. What the fuck's that noise? All right, what the fuck? We've got 2. That's just 2 examples I've highlighted there of people that are critical race theorists that are on the same fucking panel. So it's not looking good, is it? Not looking good at all.
Definitely not.
It's a fucking disgrace. Like there is others here that have a anti-racist subcommittee in Bain Networks, and Nazut Utumani, who's a primary teacher. Huh? And she's on the board of trustees. She's from WASDEC, which again is another anti-racist group, or critical race theory group, I should say. So you know, so the other work streams, as it was referred to there. So curriculum reform, for example, it says here that this group, one of 4 groups established, yada yada. The group's vision is to promote Scotland's schools and early learning environments and to hope they will promote and embed racial equity, anti-racism and global citizenship through its systems, leadership and curriculum using a critical race theory framework. There's it, right? Fucking black and white on the Scottish government's own website that this is the intention of this group. You know, as I said, this is the Scottish fucking government's website, and there's it in black and white. That's the intention. It's critical race theory. So, I mean, it can't get any more obvious. At this point, there's not really much else I can say to add to that. It's there in black and white. You know, I've been spelling it out in layman's terms, like saying anti-racism is critical race theory, but well, they're doing my job for me now because they're fucking saying it's
exactly. And still, people don't wake up and smell the coffee. They still call people like us prejudiced, racist, extremist, and conspiracy theorists. Exactly. Some people are just beyond help, and I don't wish it on them, but they're going to have to experience reality if before they finally wake up.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, without a doubt, there. I mean,
Yeah.
if there is such a thing as karma, then I fucking hope it hurts. But look who's at the top of the members list for this. So it's my girl again. It's Kachida fucking Mohammed.
Oh,
Oh, fucking hell.
admit it. She is everything you want in a woman.
Oh, she has. You know? Oh,
I'm jealous
so-
of you, man.
it's the
So
speech
jealous.
impediment that she used to have back in the day. Like, yeah, like when she was, I don't know if she's had a stroke or something, but there was a time when she could barely speak, and every second sentence, every second word was followed up by noise coming from her goba. And
To be honest, I have never heard of her. To be honest, I'd never heard of her until last year. Yeah.
Oh, well, she won an award actually a few years ago, and she was presented that award by Nicola Dunlop's. Oh, I'm not joking, by the way. I can't get that.
I believe you.
But, so we got. I just want to finish this teaching. I'm gonna have to put this on my Telegram actually, because some people might not see it. But there's very short vision for this one. But this is the subgroup as a vision that Scotland's education workforce at all levels will reflect and support the racial diversity of modern Scotland. Yeah, just fucking irritates modern Scotland. It's got to reflect modern Scotland. Because things are changing, white man. Get fucking used to it. That's what it screamed out to me. We're changing your country, and we want the institutions to reflect that change. Get it up if you disagree. That's what it screams out to me.
Well, to me, their idea is if you disagree with me, you're a racist.
Exactly.
That's it.
I mean, anti-racist. Fucking. Right, so I'll need to keep that aside because I'm going to go over that in terms of putting up my Telegram at some point. Like, but so what's this? I'm finally getting my tabs down to a reasonable-ish size now. I was reading that earlier. I just every time I see climate shit, I'm in two minds about whether or not I believe it. And then if I do believe what they're saying is occurring, I disagree with what they say is responsible for why it's occurring. You know what I mean? So they're now trying to make out that last year all the locks and reservoirs in Scotland were like fucking like they shot, or the last few years, sorry, they've shot up in terms of increased temperatures and whatnot. And they're now saying, or they say down here, that these changes to the heat, it could risk harmful algae blooms developing, which could restrict their use for recreation and water supply and as a safe habitat for wild. Now, again, when the 2030 stuff, Agenda 21 and whatnot, it's said by people that have done a lot more deep dive digging into it than I ever did, but they say that they'll even control your supply, your water supply and whatnot. And that's just the sort of thing. I know that this does go on to talk about ways to mitigate the issue, but when I read that, like, oh, this could affect water supply, and that was like, here we fucking go. You know, you just never know.
Every excuse under the sun with these sons of buggers.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, I don't really want to swear and get your channel nuked, but I'm holding my tongue. I'm holding back.
I've been swearing quite often, like.
Okay, I'll say sons of bitches then. There.
There you go. Right, is there anything else? Nah. Right, I think we're gonna get to the fucking what's he called? The halfwit number. I don't know what this guy is. Oh, the Kajida Muhammad. I've seen the name there again. What's this one? Oh, this is the actual anti-racism and education program that was established after George Floyd died in America. So that somehow justifies all this shit today in Scotland. As if it's our man, but that's here nor there. That's irrelevant. So finally, get in there. Time's off the essence. I really need to get something to drink like this. This is killing me. But Scotland's net zero. What's this? I'm forgetting stuff now. Oh yeah. This is because this was going to be one of my other talking points. I've talked about it before, the grooming, sort of political grooming that's occurring in Scotland, with the way that they sort of coerce children and encourage them to protest for climate change. But the kids don't realise that all they're doing is reiterating, like talking points that they've been taught in school. It's so fucking stupid. But this dickhead from the SNP, Net Zero Secretary Michael Matheson met with members of the Scottish Youth Parliament to discuss youth engagement on climate. Why the fuck would he, a fully grown man, care to any capacity what members of Scottish youth are doing in regards to climate and climate activism, etc., etc.? It's grooming. It's about encouraging them to continue to, quote unquote, call for change, hold their feet to the fire, this shit. Right? Children and young people in Scotland have been instrumental in pushing forward climate action. We are committed to involving them in our efforts to tackle the crisis. Just fuck off. The only reason children know anything about climate change is because they've been taught about it in school, and it's everywhere now in terms of like the narrative, mainstream media, etc. But for a time, it was just being taught in schools. They waited a wee while for enough kids to be introduced to it, and then, hey presto, here comes big bad Greta Thunberg to start orchestrating all these little protests, which are actively encouraged here in Scotland by our government and the teachers. Then the kids demand action. It says in page 7 of the textbook that we've got in class that we need a climate, we need more action. We demand more action. It's so fucking obvious. I wish they don't say that, but you know what I mean. Like they might as well. They're reiterating when they get taught in school, but they demanded action. They were demanding change. And what did Nicola Sturgeon do? Okay, you've twisted my arm. I hereby declare a climate emergency. So you mean to tell me that Nicola Thinlips hadn't bothered her thin-lipped fat arse to do anything to mitigate the perils of the warming climate? Oh, no. A bunch of 6-year-olds demand that she does something, and she finally comes to her senses. Fucking do one. If you expect me to take that seriously, it is clear-cut political grooming. They deliberately introduce all the stuff to kids. The kids then demand action. The government pretend they're taking them seriously, when the reality of the matter is the government wanted these kids to come away with that suggestion, so the government they don't come across as, we're just imposing this and we're imposing that. No. They're imposing these policies because the kids have begged for it, and it's their human right, according to the UNCRC, to be taken seriously, etc. So the government have to do it. Well, it's the Children's Rights Charter says we have to do this because they've asked for it. That's essentially what happened. Right, my rant over it.
That's basically it, man. You're just calling it like it is. Can I just say, Jimmy Boyd in the chat has said it perfectly. Says, but climate change is real. It's been changing since the birth of the planet. LOL. That's very true. It's called evolution, and naturally the climate does change. It fluctuates through the millennia and billions of years. So all this climate crap isn't something new. But they're clearly not experts. If they knew anything about climate, they would know evolution, and that's all natural, and it's part of the whole cycle.
Mm-hmm. And if they were legitimate and they were acting in good faith, then they would be teaching the kids about the fluctuations that have occurred throughout history that we're aware of, and they'd be talking about the effects that space has in terms of what's it fucking called, the solar activity. That's what I was looking for.
Solar flares.
Solar flares, etc. Now we can't talk about that though. No, we can't. All we need to know is that carbon is responsible for this. Just
do one. But the thing is, even if the climate is changing, it's so slow that you wouldn't even notice it. Certainly not in our lifetime. It would take thousands and thousands of years to actually notice a difference. But then again, nobody is Methuselah or has immortality to even see the difference. So all this is just basically political points to shoehorn in their policies.
Yeah, exactly. It's communism through the back door, essentially. Or the very bare minimum socialism. But this is another example. Net Zero Scotland again from the government. Right, so it's probably that same Michael Matheson guy. He's very creepy, if you ask me. But we need to teach everybody about the wider picture and all think about what we do that contributes to the situation. Member of the Scotland's Children's Parliament, an 11-year-old. Huh?
What
a fucking 11-year-old's giving her take on climate affairs, right?
Yeah.
First and foremost, I don't give a shit what an 11-year-old has to say about climatology. The second of all, why is an 11-year-old giving her opinion on climatology? And how old was she when she was first introduced to the conversation about climatology? This just it really irritates me. And it says here, it's important that Everyone, including children, have their say in decision making and ideas for an inclusive net zero future. So they introduce, as I say, all this shit to the kids, and they plant the seeds and they let the kids come up with the solutions themselves. You know,
Well,
that's what's happening here.
the thing is, none of them even know what they're talking about. I
Yeah,
mean,
of
at
course they don't.
11 years old, I was not certainly interested or understood any politics. But do you know what really gets on my nerves, DJ? It's the way they try to equate gender identity and race with climate. With the two things could not be even any more opposite. It's just absolute bullshit.
Oh yeah,
But
well
like,
they say Sturgeon said that climate change is the feminist issue. Like just
yeah.
don't get your hair fucking sorted out, right? You know, or the Baines and I said it's about racial justice.
Of course they would.
It's
Yeah.
like I it's so obvious when they start that shit that it's just opportunism again.
I know it's any opportunity to try and stay relevant.
It's just the same
Especially
shit.
especially
Yeah,
Nicola Thinlips.
repackaged.
Nicola Thinlips knows her days are numbered, but she's desperately trying to stay relevant, and it's pathetic. Really, it's sad.
Oh, fucking hell! I think that was it on that Twitter. I mean, I do have a Twitter account, but like I'm very hesitant about tweeting like people that piss me off because well, it might be a bit different now. I don't know. I'm not exactly like over the moon about the Elon Musk thing, or kind of indifferent because I don't really use Twitter that much. But I'd like to think.
I got kicked off Twitter a year ago, but I don't care. Twitter's for wankers anyway, for idiots.
This is literally, I've had Twitter for 2 months. I never even had it as a teenager when my private life or anything like that. Never had it. I decided to make it just to follow all these anti-racist dickheads. I have started kind of venturing out in terms of saying the odd thing here and there. And every time I send a tweet like Sturgeon, I think I'm going to get booted off. I think I'm going to get blocked. And then I'd be heartbroken. But it's not happened yet. There you go, anybody. If you want to follow.
Well, I got kicked off for the heinous crime of saying there are only two genders. Everything else is a mental illness. Everything else.
Well.
That's all I did. So that was mild.
I love these boys too.
Nicola Longneck.
I'm very creative. I don't even have any editing software. I do all my fucking artistic artwork. All my powerful, hard-hitting imagery comes from Paint 3D. Oh, fuck's sake. I'm good. Oh, wow. But is this the... Alright, so I've done that. I can get rid of that now.
I really like Nicola Longneck that you made there. That was a good
one.
name.
I don't know why I used to do that all the time, eh? Like, if you go from my old videos, like, there's so many random videos of Sturgeon with, like, a really long neck. As you see, I don't know if I got... here we go. I think if I just keep scrolling down the way... Look, see that one there, eh? I don't know if you can see that. Like,
Helmet head returns with more verbal diarrhea. Yeah.
I don't know why I used to do that. That fucker as well. That was my thing for a while.
That's class.
Fucking Jesus. There was my first video on that feminist inspired nursery shit. Didn't realise it was still a thing. But that video didn't even do very well there. I'm surprised at that. Like, not that one, but the one I made yesterday or whatever. I thought it would do better than that because it's quite like you read a title like that and you think to yourself, "What the fuck is that?" But no, strange that. Oh my god! Now I want to show everybody this. Right, I was watching this earlier on just out of curiosity, and I noticed something Nicola Sturgeon does that I don't know if I've ever noticed it before, but I was in hysterics when she starts her speech. Like, she does this very strange thing. She talks with her hands, right? But this was different.
I think he's gone off screen. Can you hear me, DJ?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, is this a part of the the gender thing is nothing to do with environmentalism in general. You'd be better served lumping it all together. And you can say that Agenda 21's conspiratorial all you want, like, but at the end of the day, Agenda 2030 is redefined as it's quite clearly happening right now, like quite literally. So, you know, everything's for my sustainability, every single policy. So I don't know what to tell you, like, and I don't know if you're referring to me or else you discredit any points by lumping everything together. How am I I'm just literally I debunked the Jedi. I'm lumping it all in together. I'm not even talking about fucking Agenda 21 or Agenda 2030. I'm talking about fucking Sturgeon at the trade unions meeting. So I don't know what you're referring to. Yeah. And actually, the gender justice. All I did was we were talking about Nicola Sturgeon, how she said that fucking climate change was a feminist issue, right? So I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. We're repeating what she said. And again, just I got to Agenda 21. Nobody's mentioned Agenda 21. You're thinking from a myopic Scottish-only viewpoint. We all have the same issues in the States. And America seems to be one of the only places where this isn't really occurring the same way that it's happening elsewhere. You know, the European Union is implementing that. It's been implemented here, just not the same pace right across the UK, but it's fucking still happening. What Nordic country was it very recently? It was either Finland or one of them anyway. They've overhauled their education system, and what's it all focusing on now? Sustainability. Go fucking figure, eh? Well, it's just a conspiracy, is it?
Sounds like Sweden. When you said
I don't think it was Sweden. I think it was Finland. Like it was either Denmark or Finland. It's all about sustainability now.
The kind of the things Sweden would have done. I'm just surprised then.
It's fucking ridiculous. Or what about learning for sustainability? There's another one. What are you going to look at learning for sustainability? The educational resources that they spend most of their time teaching the kids in Scotland these days, instead of their maths and their English. Learning for sustainability. Hey. Yeah. But it's a crazy conspiracy theory, right? Fucking hell. I'm not in the habit of peddling bullshit, pal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I comment on what I see. Barely anything that I've done tonight is I've theorized. You know, I've made some, and I've also added disclaimers. I've said I think that the so-called crisis in Russia, for example, is manufactured. I don't know that for a fucking fact. That's just my belief. But when it comes to things that I can provide proof on screen for, I don't need to justify myself.
Yeah.
Fucking ballpark, man. Anyway, where the fuck is it? I was fucking Sturgeon, right? So that's the fact. Like, I was watching this earlier, and I couldn't contain myself. Like, it's, as I say, just imagine your hands are just flat there on your, at your side, and then just every so often you swing them out the way, as if you're doing a star jump without jumping. She starts doing this, during her speech, and I was like I was watching it for a while. I was like, is she going to do that again? And right enough. Did it again. It's like, what is she doing?
It's a certified plum duff.
Yeah. Oh, you will. I can't remember where exactly it is, but I'll speed her speech up a wee bit so we don't have to suffer the bullshit. But, all right, here she comes. But there we go. Right. Come on. That's not what I'm talking about. No, wait, you'll see that.
There, she's already started with the hand already.
This is different. Wait, you see it. Wait for it.
I'm in suspense. I know it's going to make me laugh.
It's just so weird when you notice it. Like, what's she doing? Wait, kind of like that. There's a. Wait, guess what? she's holding the paper that she just lets go and flap. Wait for it. Fucking weird. Wait. Come on, do it again. I just can't recall how far into it went. It's very, very, very apparent. But it was quite, because I was listening to it for quite a bit, so I can't remember that. But there was. Did you see it? Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, we all
Wait. Come on. Come on. Did I even? Did you see it? Did you see it?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. And then again. You might as well just step back and start doing star jumps.
Oh, fuck,
you
man.
You can tell she's desperate to do them.
It's so weird. I don't know what the fuck she's doing there. Oh, fucking Jesus! Do it again. Oh my god.
To be honest, I don't even think Nicola Sturgeon knows what she's doing.
And fucking just gets progressively worse as this speech goes on. I was like, what are you doing? It's like she's got Tourette's.
Certainly got a motor tick.
Oh, I doubt with that head bobbing normally, like, but fucking this is just come on, one more time for me, Sturgeon. Come on. Did it twice. And a third time.
see that last gesture when she cups her hands, she's actually saying that's the size of my boobies. That's what she's actually promoting. She's showing you her boobs are a handful. Yeah.
And then if you see photos of her from the right angle and all that, fuck me, she's saggy. Like, at least a little bit.
Or do you know what? Alternatively, she could have been showing you that's the size of her hubby's balls. Like to. Oh man, I don't even want it. Sorry, I put that idea in your head. Sorry, my bad.
Peter, big Peter, eh? Oh fuck.
Dome head, Peter.
I forgot to play that earlier on, actually. That was just her shit. You know, there was the usual tropes where they all stand in Parliament and like, you know, we have an opportunity to not go back to the way things were. It's just fuck off. Like, it's so obvious, man. But anyway, move on from that. I can get rid of that.
I don't know if this is relevant, DJ, but so talking of going back to the way things were, I was pleasantly surprised at how very few people today in Glasgow are wearing masks in the railway station of all places, where about a month ago it was wall to wall with face nappies.
Yeah, it's kind of the same up here now, actually. But
and
is that where you live, right? Glasgow? Or are you from Edinburgh?
Yeah, no, I'm actually originally from Denmark, but I've been here.
I know that, but I just couldn't remember what city you were from. Living in.
We moved to Glasgow, and that's where I've been ever since.
Well, that's where we Scottish Armour strong, like. But I mean, I think you said before as well that like the masks. Oh my fucking god! Look at this photo, by the way. Sorry, look, she's doing. She did that. I was just true. Oh, fire started doing the fucking thing. Oh, Jesus Christ! But I said.
I don't even know what she was doing. Like she's singing.
She's probably not doing it there, but it does look like it. But he did say something, if I'm not mistaken, about it. There's not as many masks now, like, but there was a bit here for when they first changed the rules. Like, I went into the shop the first day. Not that I really wore a fuck mask anyway. Like, I didn't have a mask. Like, there was times that I'd have a snood if I was going to like the doctors or something because they're very strict in that. But when it comes to like walking about shops and that, fuck that, no. But I expected to walk in and see a sea of people without face masks on. But no, it was quite.
Yeah. Oh, that will just take time. Hello, DJ.
I might cut out there.
There you are. No, I think the mask wearing will take time to finally disappear, but the only people I saw today mostly wearing it were elderly. But again, I just say they feel more vulnerable, so I let them be. But younger people were not wearing them.
Younger people, I don't know. It's a bit of a mixed bunch up here. The only people that still wear them religiously are the people that still work in the shops. So I don't know if it's shop policy or like that they're being forced to still wear them, or
I
if
think
they're just choosing to. But that wouldn't be.
They probably threatened them with expulsion. If they don't comply, you'll be fired. You never know what people are saying behind the scenes. But I did see a few youngers passing a few shops that they had their masks on. But to be honest, none of the customers had a mask on. They may just be personal choice for these people.
Yeah.
But again, they're not bothering me so long as they don't tell me to put one on. And another thing is gone. You know the plastic screens that used to divide you from the cashier? They're all gone now.
Aye, and they finally got rid of in the supermarkets now. They finally got rid of that annoying policy where you could only go in through one door. You know the entrance and the exit. Like
Yeah.
They finally got rid of that. So,
Well, my local supermarket hasn't had the one door policy for I think 6 months. But all the plastic screens at customer service have gone, and now you can reach out and grab the cashier if you desire. Not that I would want to. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not under any illusion that this is going to be the reality forevermore. Like, I mean, come on, the fact. Well, when it comes to the next flu season, I mean, are they just going to start doing the same thing again? Oh, look at that, COVID's back. It's like, okay.
And it's inevitable. It's coming. The flu it will come back. But what they will do is, I don't think they'll do any more lockdowns because they saw how well that worked out. They'll make everybody wear a mask.
They do have the regional shit though, like tier system essentially. It's like
but on saying that, DJ, knowing Nicola Sturgeon, she will do the opposite of England, and she will impose restrictions and masks. She will do anything that's opposite of what Westminster does.
But even now, she's still acting like fucking masks are extremely effective and all the rules work. That she was on that Loose Woman in midweek last week, and she was talking about had the masks and all the rules not been implemented at the time, then like thousands of more people would have died. Despite the fact we now know that the face coverings don't work, they're near enough useless because we're not talking like I don't know.
I know,
I'm not talking about like medical grade masks, and even there's an argument to be made there that they don't even work at. But like when it comes to like the paper thin nappy pieces of paper that these people have on their faces, that doesn't fuck all. Lockdowns did next to nothing, you know. But Sturgeon still pretends that all these interventions have worked. And the reason that she does it, of course, is because in the event of ever having to implement them again, she wants as many people to be on board with it, you know.
Well, she's trying to just, as I said earlier, DJ, she's just trying to stay relevant because she knows that her days are numbered and she can no longer bullshit the vast majority of people because people use common sense. And I will say one thing, I've not worn a mask for well over a year. I reluctantly wore one in the beginning, but then I managed to get an exemption card. So anytime some jumped up halfwit said, excuse me, sir, can you put your mask on? I said, sorry, I'm exempt. All right, sorry. Now, it worked like a treat, and I didn't ever have to prove that I had a respiratory problem. That was my way of saying, get it up, you system. I'm going my way. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know this guy, what his crack is like, this guy here. I don't know if you're referring to us. There's no sense in trashing and seeing changes while they're happening. Maybe the weather impacts on regional. I don't know if you're talking about us. I mean, we're not trashing Scotland. You know what I mean?
See that CCC guy. He was asking some questions earlier, but I didn't know if it was to you or in general to the chat.
He says that, but I mean, trashing it. I mean, natural world, land generally. What are we trashing? I don't know if you're referring to us. What the fuck, like?
I don't recognize
any frugal person. I don't the welfare system you already have as a standard in UK Scotland though. Well, the welfare system hanging by a fucking thread as it is, you know. But again, that's fucking irrelevant to trashing the land. I don't know what you're talking about. The fuck's he talking about, like?
No idea.
Fucking trashing the land, like, you know what I mean? I'm not one of these wee reprobates. Every time I come out of a shop, I've been dropping my face mask on the fucking floor, like, you know. But there's plenty of that lying about, you know.
Oh, I saw a lot of that today in all the streets. There was bloody dirty blue masks around. I don't know if they wipe their asses with it or what it is, but they're lying around the street, and it really is. That's more disgusting than seeing the mask wearings all walking around pretending that it's saving their lives. But clearly, the council don't give a damn, because if they really were focused on getting rid of this so-called deadly virus, all these masks would not be lying in the ground. They would be enforced, putting it into a hazmat bin or something. If you know what I mean. Yeah. And the only way, as I've said to a few people who have listened, the only way you would really be effectively safe behind a face protector, you would have to have your own full face respirator sealed off in a hazmat suit. That would be the only way. But again, it never went to that extremity. So clearly it says volumes about how deadly this whole thing was to the vast majority.
I know, or a big doozy at Westminster Abbey, like.
Oh, that.
I still can't get over that. Nobody's talking. Like, they keep bringing up this barbershop shite. It's really irritating. Like, you can't stop comparing Boris Johnson to her barbershop escapade.
Partygate, yeah.
It's hardly comparable, but that's what they keep doing. I mean, they would have it over a barrel if they referred to the Westminster Abbey thing, but they won't do it. They won't do it. Not a biggie, no fast. What's this guy on? Like, I don't know if you're a fucking troll or you're a weirdo way. Fuck should crack, like, fuck. Oh, people threw masks away all over the world. They might have done, but I'm not all over the world, am I? I'm fucking in Scotland, and if I've been told there's a deadly virus, then there should be these toxic masks lying all over the fucking floor. They should do.
They should be in bins. They shouldn't be lying on the ground. The street's filthy enough without adding more rubbish.
Actually, fucking Glasgow, like, it's a fucking shithole. No offense, Davey. Or you, actually.
No, that's fine. I've been saying that for a long time, but what makes it bad is just the people. Nothing that can't be fixed, but we've got all the wrong people living in Glasgow who are basically just making matters worse, and you know who they are.
I got like we didn't have that problem here. Well, good for you. You didn't have that problem here. And as for the quip about having water in the tap, I should fucking think we should have water in the tap. We're surrounded in water. What the fuck, like? But they are talking about wanting to put what's that, fluoride in it now, eh? They want to put fluoride in our water now, partly because so despite the fact it's been banned here for fucking God knows how long, they will put fluoride in our water because apparently my dentistry issues. Like, fuck God. Don't know how I feel about that. Like, but you know,
if I remember as a young child, I remember being told there's a small percentage of fluoride in the water already, but it's so small that it's harmless. It's harmless volumes, but
it's harmless in small doses. Like, but I mean, fucking, if you have that in your water for, I don't know. Just don't know how I feel about that. I mean, there could very well be some truth in the argument being made about dentists and whatnot, but I don't know. We've had it banned for so long, and I was like, let's just fucking go for it. Nah, I don't know. After all the shit you put us through for the last few years, I don't think so.
Do you know how you fix the dental problem? By educating people on proper hygiene and brushing their teeth morning and
that
night.
may help a bit.
Because I was told by my dentist, the west coast of Scotland, especially around Glasgow, has the worst cavity rate, and it's down to the diet.
I doubt it. I mean, I'm fucking 26 now, and I still haven't had a filling. I'm doing no bad for a boy that smokes.
You've not had a filling, bloody
never
hell.
had a filling.
I'll
tell a lie, sort of. My two front teeth, are half of them are like the sort of caps because I got punched in the face. Can't broke my teeth. But I've never had a proper filling. Every time I was at the dentist last week, teeth are perfect.
That's good.
It's a Highland way of life, mate. You know what I mean? That that's got in my teeth,
Probably have plenty. Maybe there's a lot of fluoride in the water after all. Maybe that's what's happened. No, I've got many fillings in my teeth, and I've had my 4 wisdom teeth pulled out a while back. But other than that, I have all my teeth.
I might have to get them pulled at some point, like, because there's the odd time it fucking hurts for no reason, so they're obviously growing or something. But
Yeah, well, mine
it's a
had to get.
video story. I fucking
Yeah,
need to find
mine
it.
needed to get pulled because they were causing me pain for years, and they were pushing up against the next tooth, so I had to get them out.
I'm not looking forward to that if it has to happen to me. Yeah. Oh, come on. There's a video of Sturgeon.
Another one.
No, but it was in Glasgow, and you seen clips of how fucking she was at some event, and the camera recorded outside the event, and even outside the event she was at was a shithole, littered everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But where the fuck is it though? Oh, there's it. There, like this man.
Issues you talk about the SNP providing strong leadership. Much has been made about Glasgow, for example, and the cleansing issues that Glasgow has had just outside where we're doing these interviews today.
Look at that.
Across the streets. Is that not an example of the SNP letting down people in these communities?
Look, I think there are real issues for councils across the country. We're doing what we can to protect the budget. So if you think in this financial year, Scottish Government budget reduced by about 5% in real terms, the decisions we've taken have resulted in a around 6% real terms increase in the overall local government funding settlement. But these are difficult times, and I know that cleansing issues in Glasgow are difficult, although I also know that you'll see people here over the course of the day cleaning up rubbish in the street because the cleansing workers here do a really good job. And as a local MSP here, these
how
are
difficult is it to pick up bloody litter?
All of the time, and I know the council have been
Absolute fool of shit trying to imply that this is a problem elsewhere. The only other city that I could say I could say first-hand experience by seeing it, that this is a bit of an issue in Edinburgh, and that's the same fucking SNP sort of hegemony there, But,
well, so ironically, I was going to disagree with you, DJ. I actually find the main streets of Edinburgh far more
but
cleaner than Glasgow.
The rough areas though, like where my ex is from, like fucking hell. They're not even enough bins for the blocks of flats and that. So
I've never ventured out of the city. I wouldn't dare.
It gets bad, like. But it's bad here, but.
Can I draw your attention to one thing? Have you noticed every time she's asked a question, she always starts with, look, it's always like a really, like, a bit aggressive. That's kind of like confrontational. It's like, look, we are trying to do our best to make good of a difficult situation. It's just always really cheeky. Look, it's a wee dead, basically.
Have you seen the videos? Like, it's a BitChute. He's fucking like the guy. No, it's the woman going around all the houses and that in Govan. Oh my god, man! Like fucking Jesus Christ! Like even fecal matter and all that shit. Like these Romanians throwing their shite out the window, literally their shite out the window and stuff. I mean, that's just weird.
Yeah. But I'm just surprised in Edinburgh.
You can be a heterosexual male that understands all this crap, but also an environmentalist, pro-sustainability. And well, that's good for you. I don't really know which one you're trying to tell me you are, but nonetheless, I don't really give a shit, dude. You come in here and imply that I'm conflating things and talking shit, and everything that I've been speaking about, I've had on the screen while I've talked about it. So I don't know what you're fucking on about. You want some Russian bitch? No, I'm quite content with a Scottish woman if it's all the same, mate. The fact, like, so are you trying to imply my bender now? Like, fucking what the fuck? Oh Jesus, I don't even know what I'm getting fucking involved with some wee belly in the chat. Like, but it's Mr. CCC knows what he's talking about. Apparently, Well, fuck, don't do something about it then. Okay, now.
Maybe he's a Russian.
Yeah, he probably is.
No, I wouldn't surprise. Probably on Putin's payroll. I'm assuming Putin told him to say that.
Can you read? I'm reading what you say, and you make sense for this. It's like fucking. Maybe you're drunk, Davey, mate. What's Davey say? Davey, I want to go party, mate. You be careful what you're doing, CCC. Like, there's a rabbit Ouija in my chat, man. Yeah, man, fucking wee Davey, like, knock you out. Fucking Jesus. Full of private. It's fucking Gavin's like, honestly, I'm not pulling those Gavin videos up. Like, I don't even know if they're still on about shit, but they're fucking horrible.
Oh, Gavin Hill, I try to avoid that place. Although I now and again I have to pass through it. But every time I do, I always pass one of these wee pricks that think they own the area and they can tell people what they can and cannot do. You know, the wee pricks with the suntans. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was passing one. He was at a cash and he's just the dirty look he gave me. But I wasn't going to say, "Can I help you?" in because I don't know if his buddies are standing waiting to pounce. So I just kept looking and walked through Allison Street. But this is what you get. They think they rule the roost because they get away with it because everybody's scared of them. Yeah. This is effectively a ghetto. It's just a ghetto now.
Sorry, I'm trying to type at the same time. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
Right,
I'm just rambling.
See about the Highlands, man. Well, where I live anyway, it's a total different world up here. Like, so it really is a different world. Like I was shocked when I was going down to see my bird, my ex in Edinburgh. Like, fucking shocked at the state of the place. Like, it makes me sound like a snob, but it's just a different world up here. Like, our bins get collected in times, you know, and our potholes get fucking fixed. It's how society used to operate, you know. And you don't see 35 Africans before you manage to get to the end of your fucking estate.
I know. Oh, speaking of potholes, I saw a really bad pothole today coming round the corner in the bus in Renfrew Street. I could swear it was a metre across and about 4 inches deep. And even when the bus went over it, my teeth rattled and I could hear the driver, "Oh, for fuck's sake." Yeah, so even he agrees it's bad. And it's just getting worse. It's not getting fixed. It's like driving on the surface of the moon.
Yes,
it's just maddening.
I need to turn my light on and get some fucking water before I go finish this up, like, because my mouth's like a fucking, I don't know.
It's the same with me. I'm actually going for water too, so I'll bring the laptop into the kitchen.
Alright. I mean, I'm not sure what else is left for me to do anyone in this because I've kind of skipped that these look at that fucking hairdo, man. That's just, I don't know what that is. I mean, that's a boy. That's a fucking boy. That's just that hairdo, eh? Like, fucking hell, man. Anyway, what was I? There was the anti-racist St Andrew's Day. I haven't watched that, so I don't actually know what the fuck they go on about. It was just when he said fascism at the start, I was like, is this guy for real? But the loose woman thing was quite funny because she sits there and just like, oh, if I'd misled Parliament, if I was found to mislead Parliament, I would have resigned. Yeah, the MSPs themselves had found her to have misled Parliament because of like over 1,000 words being redacted from fucking her meetings with Salmond, you know. But then the independent inquiry conveniently found her not guilty. So, but I just found that funny. But what else have I got? Not really much left, I think. Oh, there's a there. Fucking why were over 1,000 words redacted or missing from the probe? You tell us, then let's see. Don't know. That's my Twitter. What's that?
I'm multitasking here. I'm trying to roll a cigarette.
The remaining tabs I've got open are just taking a while to open up, so I don't have a clue.
I'm just rolling a cigarette.
Oh, that's the climate change shit. This was a fucking doozy. It's the wee non-binary thing, yeah. Dylan. Oh, he's disappeared. I can't figure out if it's actually a boy or not. I don't know. But yeah, this was embarrassing because it's funny watching all of these. Well, they were all the leaders at the time. Obviously, things have changed a bit now, but you know, all singing from the same hymn sheet as if like what they're saying is just totally total crystal clear proof. Yeah, what irritates me the most is because so much of what they're saying is total fucking nonsense. But you know, where's the wee non-binary? Fuck you. Get the fuck, man.
just there that I was going through the chat function there about
Come on. Yeah, I'm doing you all a favour. I watched all this, but I'm skipping it. I can't watch that again.
You don't want to torture yourself a second time, do you?
No. Well, I did find the fucking comments of the site though, because this woman there claims like climate striker parent here. I'm also an RMP teacher. Mandatory experiences and outcomes are needed. Secondary teachers are under a lot of curriculum time pressure with little space. I tried to write my own, but it was very difficult with no guidance. My subject focused on the moral aspects of climate change, but I couldn't, and then missing a word, but presumably find adult pupils knew the, I couldn't find adult pupils knew the science. Many didn't. Oh, the science, yeah. Fuck off. Assume not adult. Then she says, there's also an attainment gap. More disadvantaged young people tend to be less involved in climate. Oh, Jesus, fuck. I mean, wow. And how to better educate teachers so that they're prepared to add climate within their curriculum regularly. It's fucking remarkable how in the space of, like, since I left school to where we are now, but this shit is just openly being implemented in schools. And if it's not implemented in your local school, they might, rest assured, there might be a teacher talking about what can be done to implement it. What the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? It's mental. But
I know.
Total.
And the reason why their children are not interested, while they're not getting involved, is probably because they're not interested in politics. Full stop. They'd rather be playing with their toys and their tablets and their Xbox or whatever it is they're given. I certainly was not interested in politics at 11.
I was never even talked about when I was in school. You know what I mean? Especially like 4 and 5 years old when they're learning for sustainability and global citizenship and all this bullshit. I mean, like that to me is just beyond the pale. When you,
but you know, when I was 4 and 5, do you know what I was learning? My ABCs in songs and Ba Ba Black Sheep.
That was about and the fucking break at lunchtime I was playing Alien versus Predator. Now they're all marching for LGBT at 4 and 5.
Oh god. Because they've been conditioned. This is the future, DJ. Get used to it.
But again, it's like all they're doing is repeating what they learned in school. It's not like an inventive thought. Do you really think that like the likes of Sturgeon that would sit there and listen to a bunch of kids to pretend that they care about what they're saying if they hadn't been introduced to all these talking points? You know, so Calvin, tell me what you think about the rising sea levels, you know, and then the kids obviously going to go, well, you know, and then they'll reiterate what they've been taught in school. But if they didn't have a clue about any of that, they're going, what are you talking about? That'd be the end of it.
Well, the kids are basically they've been drummed. It's been drummed into them what to say if Nicola Sturgeon asks you that question. Answer it with that. Again, the kids are well briefed before Sturgeon comes to the school or anybody to do with the government. It's obvious that they're not thinking that up themselves. They're not that smart.
No, of course not. In fact, see, but this is the non-binary. I think non-binary. I don't know. I mean, the pronouns is a bit of a giveaway. It's sign a bit gay about him anyway. But the voice, very strange. Can't tell. He's one of those. I'm not sure what the fuck to call this person, but it's the pretentious attitude. Like, I know what I'm talking about because I got taught it in school, so I know what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, you only know what you're talking about because the people that you're trying to lecture here and condescend, they give the light for you to be taught it, you little dickhead. But he can't see it. He can't fucking see it. He is the end result of what they wanted to do in the first place. But okay now. Yeah. So here we go.
With all that in mind, our next question is a combination of one from Freya, who's 15, and Erin from East Lothian. The first part is, what is your plan for climate action over the next 5 years? And the second part is, climate change is an issue of social justice and disproportionately affects minorities and disadvantaged groups such as
which have nothing to do with either.
Yeah, so I guess the climate change affects the BAMEs because they're BAME.
I never figured that out. How does it affect them more than anybody?
Well, I mean, their argument is because, you know, the global south predominantly BAME, but then they start to say that it has the same impact on BAMEs that live here. So wait the fuck a minute here. Right, if you're trying to tell me that like climate change will have a drastic impact on people in like Kenya, right? Fair enough.
Yeah.
If we're going to go down that route, you can agree on that, right? I'm not going to then agree that the black guy living down the street's more affected by it. What the fuck? That's what they're doing.
I don't get
That's what
how.
they're fucking doing.
You know what else? I'll tell you, DJ, is absolute BS. When they make out that the countryside is predominantly a white pastime to walk around and it's racist to non-white. Well, I'm going to be the first to tell you. The other night, I went for a walk in my local forest, and an Asian couple went by, a Muslim couple, and they were certainly not put off by the so-called, oh, the countryside is not for BAMEs. In fact, I said good evening, and they responded very friendly. So clearly, I don't see what the issue is, because they don't feel that they're excluded. In fact, I think they lived locally because they didn't drive away in a car. They walked into a housing area and they disappeared. So clearly, this whole bullshit of, oh, we need to do something about the countryside, it's just absolute bullshit.
It does do on that, and
I don't think any of these BAMEs care about that. They do what they want anyway. They go and walk around because nobody is saying, don't come here. There's no sign saying no colours. It's just absolute bonkers.
But let's see this guy again. He just said there, to believe in not trashing the planet, you'd have to be a theosophist, right? We're not disputing whether or not, in fact, these people aren't even disputing whether or not to trash the planet. We're talking about social justice being implemented. We're talking about equitable policies being implemented on the back of it to prioritize them and benefit them, because apparently they're going to feel the effects worse than anybody else with a non-existent problem. Trashing environmentalism is not the same as climate change, for a fucking start. So trashing the planet and non-existent man-made climate change, two different issues. But if we're going to go down that route, I don't see how it affects minorities any more than it affects anybody else. Just yet another excuse for fucking, equity. And that's what they're always pushing for in Scotland and worldwide now. Where did he go? He's away. That pisses me off, especially, you can go about and you can dredge rivers and you can do all these things to make the environment a much nicer and more presentable place, but it's got fuck all to do with climate change. You know what I mean? Fuck all. The climate's always changing. Doesn't matter how much fucking plastic's in the river. What do I tell you, like? I don't know if he's coming back or not. No, we were I was more on about, it's what agenda, well, they call it Agenda 2030 now, don't they? But I just think it's just agenda for the 21st century, So when the target of 2030 comes and goes, it'll be Agenda 2040 or Agenda 2045 or something. There isn't they've got the African thing as well. I can't, what year that is? It's 2045, African one. I can't remember, but I can't remember the fuck that entails. But there's something set up for Africa at some specific date as well. And then there's Ireland 2040, but I don't think that's related per se. I think it's just a policy in and of itself. I have a better grasp in the ecology and science than you do. No, I'm not saying I'm a fucking expert, right? But what I am saying is that there's another side to the argument that's deliberately being ignored, right? To push a narrative that justifies their policies. We're talking about people who have been advocating for some time for the very things that we're now seeing. A socially just, equitable society where power and wealth is shared equally across the fucking world. Oh, nobody wants that. But they want it now when they've got no choice because they're forced via manufactured crises. You see what I'm saying? Or you might say, well, it's different because of conspiracy, whatever. There isn't much though that I'm talking about Agenda 2030 and we're talking about learning for sustainability, for example, all these different things, quite clearly, black and white, they are for children to be taught, for adolescents to be taught, and for teachers to peddle. I mean, our government officials implementing all of this shit, and it's happening. So I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I mean, I've spent fucking years talking about that on this channel. You're not gonna come in here and fucking tell me that I'm talking shit. Fuck you, like. Fucking no way. I'll fucking get learning for sustainability because Mr. Control, your conspiracy theory. Oh, what's wrong with the sustainability education? I mean, fucking see what it's about. What have I just been talking about? Social justice, equity, etc. That's what it's about. That's what's promoting under the banner of sustainability education. Yeah, but you wouldn't know that, would you? Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're talking about some American debunking of the Agenda 21. Not Alex Jones. Nobody fucking watches Alex Jones here, eh? Oh, fuck, man. Getting trolled. Like, a wee ball bag, like, but I'm just saying, it's just for anybody that watches back. I know what I'm fucking talking about with this shit. I'm not saying I'm a fucking expert in all things climate, but what I'm saying is, I don't buy that argument. When I'm talking about learning for sustainability and the Agenda 2030 goals being implemented in Scotland, that's happening right now. You can see that clear as day.
Yeah.
And well, they might be conflating different fucking issues, right? But that's not my problem. If they wish to conflate issues, I will point that out. The fuck, like.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Hello, DJ. Can you hear me?
Aye.
All right. I don't know what happened, but my Wi-Fi was being retarded and it cut me out, and I only just got back in.
No, you're all right, man.
Okay.
I'm being schooled by some anonymous guy, so it's fine. You know, I don't know what I'm talking about. Apparently, all my videos for the last few years just been shitey. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's not like the National Performance Framework in Scotland, where all of our fucking policy is predicated on is merit off learning, what's it called, sustainable development stuff. Not like that's happening at all. Not like it says not on the government's actual fucking website. Oh no, I'm just talking shit. Apparently, you're saying climate change isn't real. No, when did I say climate change wasn't real? You little ball bag. I said that the climate always changes. The climate has changed since the fucking dawn of time. What I'm saying is, I do not believe that the climate only started changing when the fucking Industrial Revolution was implemented. That's the difference, eh?
Yeah.
And why I get on you don't like the LGBT stuff. Well, why the fuck are they implementing? Why are they conflating the two things? You know, man, what the fuck's that got to do with the other? You said, it's really fucking much. Like, yeah, it's just good for anybody else that might watch back at a later date. I'm not going to have some little ball bag trying to tell me that all the stuff I've been covering for the last few years is shit. You know what I mean? You don't even know what you're talking about. That's Egyptry. You know what I mean? What? What? Climate has always changed. Am I wrong? Like, what? So the climate's been static? Has it? Climate's been fucking static. Yeah? Isn't it funny though? All their fucking predictions for fucking decades. But they're on the money this time around. Oh, of course they are. Eh? Fuck off, like. Oh, I'm more hardcore than you. Fucking lick my bobby, eh? Fucking come and look at man. Fuck off. Anyway. Are you still here, eh? I fucking muted you.
No, I'm still here.
Alright, soon. Fucking. I don't know if there's much else left there. Oh, have you seen that misogyny shit that's going on just now? Like, I mean, I don't like. Obviously, the article about that Angela, was a bit crass. Like, I'm not denying that, but
when has it ever stopped? It's always been going for as long as I can remember.
Wait, what? Sorry,
the misogyny crap. They've been
but
there
was some article came out though, like, and basically, did you see it? Did you see it? Aye, it was like going on about Angela Rayner in the Westminster. So she's saying that she can't debate Boris Johnson, so she tries that tactic of like the Emma Stone tactic. Was that her name? Yeah, the woman from back in the day that in the film that showed her minge, when she's been interviewed. I can't remember the fucking film's name.
Yeah,
but
I think it is. Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. Like they actually fucking printed that, but they did. So there's been a massive shitstorm about that. But
that seems to be the cop out with all these people. It's like that SNP politician that said she would not debate with PA Scotland. Oh, what's her name
Oh,
again?
Jackie Bailey.
Jackie Bailey. Oh, it's just the cop out. It's like such a lame cop out. Instead of
Yeah.
saying,
Oh, I won't
okay,
platform ratings. It's like, oh,
yeah,
fuck off. Like, why
because
women in school them if you're that confident? But they won't do it, huh?
yeah, the thing is, as Chief Moody rightfully pointed out, the reason they won't debate with people is because they know they have no argument, and
No,
the
won't do it.
floor will be wiped with their arse, and they know it, and they don't want to be humiliated. So that is the only reason.
No, I don't disagree. I just think the worst part about that whole thing with Jackie Bailey was that she actually implied that they were cowards for not showing their faces or whatever. Like
Exactly, the
they're sneaking
irony.
leaflets through doors, but they won't debate the issue. So then they offered her a debate. She turned it down. What the fuck?
Exactly.
Oh.
It's such hypocriticalness. I mean, I don't like Antifa or BLM, but if I ever had to debate with these people in a civilized setting, I would debate with them. Sure, I would not agree with anything they say, obviously, but I would at least give them that courtesy if they say, well, why don't we debate? Why don't we talk about it? Because at the end of the day, I've got nothing to hide. I'm not going to run away. I believe in backing up what I say. At least if I get defeated, well, fine. At least I debated with them. I tried. That's my policy with all people. But no, let's all just run away and call everybody racist and cowards while you're doing exactly what you claim others are doing.
Her histrionics kind of called for a sort of conversation to then take place because you can't just get away with like making out that they're a fucking scum of the earth and then walk off into the sunset. But she needed to have that debate, but she didn't do it. But when it comes to just two people deciding to have a random debate on the internet, I don't see the point in that. Really, it doesn't really come down, doesn't achieve anything. But
there is another possibility, DJ. She probably secretly agrees with PA, but she can't speak publicly.
Well, I don't know about Jackie Bailey like now.
I'm just throwing that out there because it's possible. I mean, we can speculate on all sorts, but that's just something to ponder about.
Sounds fun again.
Yeah. But I very much doubt she agrees with PA.
No, not her.
Clearly
There's
not.
got to be some in that parliament, though. Fucking surely are. I mean, they can't all be the same. I mean, they might be, but.
Oh, speaking of SNP, today through the door I got my SNP propaganda sheet telling me why I should vote. Yeah, I'm just saying the piece of political propaganda came through the door telling me why I should vote SNP. And of course it mentions climate and it mentions independence. Yeah, the usual. And one of the councillors is a BAME guy and the other is a white guy who looks like a psychopath. I would not trust him.
I've noticed as well the amount of there's been a few references to the fact that there's nothing written on their website about it, funnily enough, which I find kind of peculiar. But
yeah,
there's been a few references just from like councillors themselves or potential councillors when they're out campaigning and stuff that the SNP have put out their most diverse candidacy list.
Oh, it's too much of it. And there's more and more. And the thing that says, I forget the BAME guy's name, he's Pakistani origin, but he's basically saying he's lived in Glasgow since 2006 or 7, and he's as much a Glaswegian as a Glaswegian is. And the first thing I said when I saw that, I said, no, you're not, pal. You came here as a migrant. You admit it yourself. I can't remember the guy's name, but he looks like a snake in the grass. He clearly is not interested in pushing for anybody else's interests but his own.
Yeah.
Yeah, the SNP is a disgrace. They should really take nationalists out of it and call themselves numpty.
The fucking policy they implement, isn't it? It's just like UN rubber stamp. That's it, yeah. But It's bizarre, the fucking relationship that they've got. I mean, there was rumours at one point that Sturgeon wanted to leave the SNP to go and become a member of like the UN. What the fuck? Like, and that's because she was so. Phone is just taking the Pete Tongery now, like, but I think I'm about done now at this point. Anyway, I don't necessarily think there's anything else. So,
I gotta think of it. I think you've covered all your usual talking points.
yeah,
that you did
I've got a rake of tabs open, but I'm just.
DJ, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
It's getting more and more frequent now. It's on the way out, this mic, but. Where's my Braveheart heritage here, by the way? I checked BBC iPlayer earlier on, like, fucking Braveheart's on the BBC Scotland thing. I wonder why that is. The election coming up. I mean, that's a meme. That's a fucking.
Freedom, Yabas. Yeah.
Always joke about, I bet you watch Braveheart for the referendum or shit, but they've actually got Braveheart now there with the elections coming up. Man. Oh, fuck.
You know, I remember some years ago, DJ, that it was the night before the Scottish elections that they actually screened Braveheart on TV, and I thought that was so deliberate. That was to rile people up to vote SNP the next day.
It was a shit film.
It was very clever. That was a clever tactic that they did there, but I saw right through it and I thought, that's just to rile people up. So they'll say, talk the English, let's get Scotland independent. Yeah.
I just think I don't even like the film really. I think it's shit.
I saw when it came out, I was a young boy at the time, but at the time I knew nothing about Scottish history and I thought, good film. But now I know more about the history of the country. It's so inconsistent and it's so shit. It's aimed at an American audience who most of them don't know anything about Scotland or the British Isles either.
Yeah.
Like
I'd say a better film that's based on like Scottish history is the Robert the Bruce one. I can't remember the fucking name it, and I know that he's like a Norman knight. He's even Scottish, right? I've heard it all before Mr. CCC starts more bullshit, right? But it's still a good film nonetheless. But there's two.
Is that the one? Films, but is that the one that has Robert? Is that the one that's got Oliver Reed and Brian Blessed in it?
It might, because the thing irritating about it is two came out around about the same fucking time, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's actually surprisingly a good movie. I like that one better.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
but the only thing that was really wrong with that film was that, historically speaking, was the like at the very start of the film, like there was William Wallace, just fucking like Robert the Bruce. Very first scene, he's at the market or whatever, and like he walks down the bit and he sees like one of the limbs of William Wallace. Like, that never fucking happened. But apart from that, it's kind of on point to a certain extent.
I remember the opening scene was you saw them back in the Crusades, some Scottish knights returning, and then they got attacked by the Saracens, and then basically their flags fell to the ground, and that was it. I'm assuming that was Oliver Reed coming back from the Crusades, because he makes an appearance with a fake Scottish accent later on.
Maybe I'm thinking the other one. I can't fucking mind it, but because I don't even remember that. Really, if I'm honest, I just remember that first scene. It was a very crowded market, and then he walks down the path, and then there's like one of Willie Wallace's limbs, like fucking on a pike. That never happened.
I need to watch that again because I need to see it. It's been 20 years or more.
Yeah, but wait, Braveheart or the film I'm on about, the Robert the Bruce one?
The Bruce.
The Bruce film, that's a few years ago, eh? It came out a few years ago. Like.
No, the one I'm thinking of, well, then we must be thinking of another one, because this was around the same time as the Braveheart. It was like a straight to DVD equivalent kind of low budget movie.
Oh, no.
Yeah. All right.
I think it was on because there was one that came out like Netflix, but then there's one that actually came out in the cinema or something. There were two different films that came out around about the same time, both fucking Robert the Bruce. But one of them's really good, one's shite. Apparently, I haven't seen the shit one.
Okay, I'll check it out after later on.
It's good. What is it? It's like the last King of Scotland or something. No, that's the black fucking guy or whatever.
Oh, that's Forrest Whitaker. Well, that's nothing to do with Scottish history, but that's a good film too.
No, it's not that. If it's fucking, I can't remember what it's called, but The Last King or something. But you'll find it. But I think that's about it. By the way, there's a wee land wheel for you though. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. We all need to stop being misogynist. Maybe you should just stop being a fucking lying cunt. But anyway, that might help things. That might help proceedings. All about equality, but yet you won't implement misandry-based protections. But it's all about the misogyny. Fuck off, man. Fucking detestable boot. Anywho's, aye, and as this woman quite rightly says, the problem with the overuse of accusations of misogyny, as Nicola Sturgeon engages in, is that it diminishes real misogyny, like the kind practiced by her. Just in general, it does diminish real misogyny. And Sturgeon claims everything is misogynistic. So it's one of those things. Boy, cried wolf, and you can definitely make the argument she's a boy with that fucking haircut. But on that note, it's 40 dogs. I think the guy that's in my chat as well, the other boy, I don't know if he's still there. The useful channel. Not the individual that got banned off Twitter the other week. My pal was trying to get hold of you, the guy that I do the streams with. Usually, because he want to get you on, but obviously you tried to get hold of you on Odyssey, but I don't think you got back to him, or you haven't seen it, whatever. But just to let you know, if you are the same point, yeah, there you go. I wasn't sure if you want your name. Stay in case when it's the AI of Susan tracked down straight away. But Scott's Armour's wanting to get you on at some point. Women won't wish. Well, Nicola Sturgeon fucking certainly won't wish. But on that note, I don't really know what else to say, to be honest. Spotty Dogs for coming on and help me out in regards to fucking. I check my mic every 2 seconds. That's really pissed me off, but it would have been a nightmare if I couldn't get somebody to come on, wouldn't it?
No, it's always a pleasure to come on and chat with you or the other lads. Always.
I'd say, obviously, I had a few things I wanted to go on about tonight, and you weren't prepped really, so you're kind of you don't know what I was going to bring up next, really. But I had to. I'm fucking so sick of this nonsense now at this point. Some of the stuff, just every day, you know what I mean? But
sometimes you have to just get it off your chest.
Yeah,
sometimes streaming
in particular has to be fucking focused on. I'm just sick of talking about it, and nobody else does it. I mean, it's not like that's not me even having a pop like individual people. It's just it's the fact that I actually posted some of the stuff to other people, with bigger subscriber counts and whatnot to myself on different platforms as well. Nobody took me up on it. Huh? What the fuck? This is the sort of stuff we should all be talking about, irrespective of whether we disagree on certain political points and whatnot. Just ignore me. So
and on that note, DJ, I'm just gonna say, after the stream's over, are you going to be hanging around for a chat backstage for a minute?
But you're definitely not going to let me go get something to drink, because I'm not a man's way fat here, but she's not a woman, mate. Well, she might be. I don't fucking know. I don't want to think about that. But on that note, I will fuck off now. But Scott, web check. Odyssey. Scott's Armour did at some point try to get hold of you, we're getting you on at some point if you wanted to come on, that is. But CCC, I don't know what to make of you, but no, I don't drink alcohol anymore. After the escapades that took place last year, I'm a changed man. But as usual, Davey, it's a pleasure. Catch is all in the back like gay, but don't do anything I wouldn't do that. Catch is all in the back like.